working on there though?
Yeah.
Don't you still have to download the video to the terabyte SD, whatever, hard drive? Oh, okay. That's fair. Yeah, true.
Can you put it on the
A walker. No, I was just wondering if they had something to get rid of throughout the whole program, or am I going to have to Okie dokie.
If anything goes violently wrong, This is one that's been circled on the calendar for a while. Chris Lehman, Nick Prozzi back with you here at Invisalign Arena as the NC State Ice Pack gets set to host the North Carolina Tar Heels for the first time here this season. Nick, it's already filling up out there. There's going to be some great energy tonight. This is one to look forward to.
Yeah, we have the band here tonight, actually, just like the Kentucky game. Expecting a sellout crowd tonight. People still trickling in right now, but the atmosphere for these games against UNC, especially after what we saw last season, is truly something that you can't really reciprocate in many other places here in D2 hockey.
Yeah, and on top of this being a good atmosphere tonight, this is an important game for both teams. Last week, they both had some trouble up in Kentucky in the ACHA showcase. For NC State, they got off to a good start with a win over Louisville, but then struggled against Kentucky and then Indiana.
Yeah, and a big reason for that was goaltending. We talked to Coach Healy before the game. He mentioned in the last game and the starter for tonight, Addison Lawrence, really put on a show against Indiana, who he thinks will be an auto bid into regionals this year. So really a phenomenal showing for him. He gets to start in net tonight. But UNC as well was unable to kind of get a good footing at the ACCHL showcase. Didn't win any of their games.
Yeah, so it'll be really interesting tonight because not only are both of these teams trying to end losing streaks, albeit short ones, you're also looking at an early and kind of pivotal game in the ACCHL. Coming into this one, NC State with a win and a loss against Penn State and then a win against Wilmington is 2-1 in conference play. On the other side, for North Carolina, they are 3-1 in the conference. So from that standpoint as well, this is a game where NC State can kind of flip the script on Carolina a little bit, so to speak.
Yeah, and I think this game is really going to kind of showcase what we're going to expect for the rest of the season, I think. We got two teams that we don't really know how they're going to match up. When you look at the similar opponents, UNC has a win against Kentucky, while NC State has lost two. But NC State blew out UNC Wilmington, which UNC struggled with and went 1-1 against. So when you look into the grand scheme of things, this is a really big game, just kind of determining what team is going to be better this year and who's going to kind of be that top echelon team.
Well, and building off of that point, too, when you look at both teams and the way not just their similar opponents have panned out, but how their overall schedules have panned out, there are some games that are a little bit of surprise, maybe some letdowns on both sides, and sometimes where both teams have showed just how good they are as well. So we're going to get a chance to see how these two teams match up against each other one-on-one tonight, mano-a-mano, and it is going to be exciting. We're going to step aside here for a minute on PackTV. When we come back, we'll take a look at the matchup specifically tonight as the Tar Heels and your Ice Pack get set to face off.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad-spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad-spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad-spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Chris Slayman and Nick Perazzi back with you at Invisalign Arena, NC State and UNC. About 10 minutes away from puck drop. And Nick, as we start to look at this matchup in particular, there's one notable player missing off that lineup card for NC State tonight. That's their captain, Garrett Arini. He's got some personal matters to attend to this weekend, so he won't be here for this game, but don't worry, he will be back. It's not an injury issue, so he is healthy. He just has other personal matters going on this weekend, but it's a big one to not have in the, or a big name not to have in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke to Coach Healy before the game. He mentioned that's their most consistent player, their leading goal scorer as well, and their leading points getter. And not having him is going to be a really big challenge tonight, trying to kind of fill that gap in that lineup. However, we do have some good news regarding Garrett Arini. He will be back for the second semester this year, so the captain will be back second semester. He will play the full season. Really great news, though, for the Ice Pack, even though they won't see him today. I think they'll definitely take that trade-off to have him for the second semester.
Yeah, and he will be, of course, back for perhaps the most important matchup between these two teams at PNC Arena in November for the Governor's Cup. But as we look at the players who are going to be on the ice tonight, there are a couple things that really stick out when we look at these two teams that we talked about that I think are really important to hit on here. And one of them, as you mentioned with the goaltending with NC State, is that goaltending. NC State still a few question marks, although Addison Lawrence, he's been tested against Kentucky. He's been tested against Indiana. Coach Healy mentioned how much he liked the way that Lawrence played in those games. And you look at the numbers, a .934 save percentage, very impressive numbers for a guy who really hasn't played a whole lot on this team. So he's going to get the start tonight, and it's a big test.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, the save percentage and his numbers are truly just kind of what sets him apart from the other two goalies NC State has, as well as this weekend. All three goalies played, and Lawrence against that really good Indiana team only gave up 3 goals. And played really well as well in the second part of that Kentucky game, only gave up 1. So this is Addison Lawrence's net tonight, and I think he's got to showcase, kind of cement himself as that number 1 on that depth chart. This is a really big game for him as well, I think.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not necessarily, we talk about the numbers, and certainly when you look at the difference in the numbers for Lawrence, that certainly warrants, some accolades there, but at the same time, it's not always necessarily about the goalie with the best numbers. It's about the goalie you can play the best in front of, and that's something that Coach Healy has mentioned to me before. So I think that's part of it as well. Now, on the other side for North Carolina, they're going to present a big test for NC State here tonight. The scoring has been somewhat of an issue for NC State when they've had trouble winning games. It's been mostly a scoring issue. Their defense, their back end has been good, so they're going to be tested against Joel Hughes, who really gave them fits at times last year.
Yeah, when we spoke to Coach Healy as well before the game, he kind of mentioned how Father Time always wins, and they've seen Joel Hughes a lot before, especially last season, and so many meetings between these Tar Heels. But he thinks that they're going to get his number tonight. They kind of got his number towards the end of last season. But I think the bigger story that NC State needs to worry about is this UNC team has only gave up 25 goals this season. This is a very strong and stout defense under a new head coach. That's something that the struggling offense definitely needs to look out for, or else it's going to be a very long night tonight.
Absolutely. And as you look at some of the other things that are going to impact this game here tonight, one of the big ones, and it's one thing that both of these teams strive to do really well, is forechecking. Last year, I got a lot of time to see that North Carolina forecheck. When it's on, it is very difficult to break out of your own zone, and they are very suffocating. But that's something that NC State's strong with as well.
Yeah, especially earlier this season, they were practicing that forecheck. I think the key for this game is just going to be the speed of the forecheck of NC State. Do they have the energy on that bench? They have the better depth. UNC has the better starting lineup. It's going to be whoever's got the most speed on that forecheck, whoever's going to break down the most, I think is going to be the big difference in this game.
Yeah, and the final difference, the big thing that I think could be the tipping point in this game tonight, it's something that we talked plenty with head coach Healy about, and we've talked about throughout the course of this season so far, that's special teams and discipline. The biggest issues NC State has, in particular, Coach Healy mentioned with that Kentucky game that they lost, was discipline. They were in the game, they took some penalties, they gave up some shorthand or some power play goals, and put themselves in a hole that they weren't able to dig out of. So special teams is going to be really important.
Yeah, and you look at UNC as well. Both teams are really struggling on the power play. Last weekend, both teams just could not get it going. UNC only 1 power play goal. NC State, no power play goals. So really on both sides of the puck, the man advantage, the man disadvantage are on the kill. Both teams are struggling on the special teams. So keep an eye on that tonight. See who can take advantage of it the most.
All right, we're getting closer and closer to puck drop here at Invisalign Arena. NC State, UNC, coming up shortly.
From the top of DH Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
We're under 5 minutes away from puck drop here at Invisalign Arena. Chris Lehman, Nick Prosby back with you on PackTV. And as the two teams get set to take the ice here in just a few minutes, let's take a look at some of the specific players on both sides that could have an impact tonight. We've talked about the goaltenders already, but on the front end, we mentioned missing Garrett Arini for NC State, but they do get an important player back into lineup, Drew Bresingham.
Yeah, Drew Bresingham's missed the last couple of games, and he had a bit of an issue with his skates pregame. Didn't get those new blades until about 7:30, so he was worried he wasn't going to be able to play tonight. It was a true game-time decision. But having him back, that presence, that great charisma that he has, that's going to be a big difference. First game back in a couple of weeks, and you can hear the players start yelling right now. They are hyped for this game.
Yeah, and as we look at the other side for North Carolina, that top line for the Tar Heels is really what you're going to have to look out for. In particular, Cole Kozlowski and Patrick O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy actually led all Division II rookies in goal scoring last year. Very good talent. He's a great finisher. He's really the guy I'm going to keep my eye on for North Carolina. So those are the guys to keep an eye on up front. I think that's really going to be important, as we mentioned, both teams with some strong back ends as well. They've turned the lights out on the arena here. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll have starting lineups, national anthem, and we'll be ready for puck drop. NC State, UNC, next.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. NC State. Think and do.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Chris Lehman, Nick Brazzi back with you at Invisalign Arena, as you can see, announcing the starting lineups for both sides here this evening. You get a look there at the starting lineup for NC State. On the front end, Zach Robinson will be out there along with Aiden Brenner and Emery Oliver. On the back end, Nick Labrizzi and Andrew Bronson, and of course in net will be Addison Lawrence. So a little bit of a different look to the starting lineup, Nick.
Yeah, especially when you're missing Garrett Arini out there, you got to fill in for somehow. Moving up, Joey Govea has 10 points this year, 9 assists, really great setup guy, and I know you love talking about him. I think he's going to fit in well with that first line tonight. So on that first line, keep an eye out for Govea setting up Philip Bailey and Zach Robinson.
Well, and on the other end in white, North Carolina going to start with that top line of Tommy Gilligan, Patrick O'Shaughnessy, and Cole Kozowski. Backing them up defensively will be Nick Curley as well as Florian Zajic. And as mentioned before, in goal will be Joel Hughes for the Tar Heels. So it should be a good one here tonight. But NC State, I think, Nick, is really important to get out and harness the energy early, get the crowd engaged early, and get that first goal.
Yeah, we've seen NC State do their best when they're able to get out to a good start. And I think the energy in this game is going to be the big important piece. Can you contain your energy and not take the penalties? Can you use that energy to your advantage, especially with this ruckus environment we're expected to see tonight? I think that's going to be the two keys for NC State. It's just going to be energy. Play with energy and play with it for a full 60 minutes.
Yeah, well, they're set for the national anthem, so we're going to throw it down to the ice for that. So there's the anthem from the NC State Pep Band, and we're just about set to get things rolling here at Invisalign Arena. Chris Lehman, Nick Brazzi with you as the NC State Ice Pack gets set to face off against the North Carolina Tar Heels. And Nick, of course, have the Pep Band here. We've had them here before. It's one of the really cool things to see. One of the results of that outdoor game last year is the bigger support for both of these programs, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, it really just immense impact that we saw from Frozen Finley has just been extraordinary. In fact, it was announced today that UNC Chapel Hill had purchased some land over in Chapel Hill with plans to build a 2,000-seat hockey arena right off I-40 in Chapel Hill, which is just really great for the sport. It's really great for the school. Growing the sport down here in the South, the Hurricanes definitely done a great job with that as well. It's just something you truly love to see, and the fan impact here tonight, the turnout we have is
But off the draw, it'll be one forward by O'Shaughnessy, but NC State will control. Thronson going rink wide, taken off the wall by Aiden Brenner, who sends it deep. That'll wrap around the wall behind Curley, misplays it for North Carolina. Back up top, Labreezy, NC State with a quick shot. That one hit a skate on the way through. Herman dumps it down low, looking for Oliver. That's going to be stolen away. Tar Heels have numbers. It's Zajic coming away with it for North Carolina. Puck pinballs through skates, loose in the NC State zone. It'll be tracked down by Brenner. He finds Thronson, who clears it up and out. Stepping up Curley for the Tar Heels, will lift it in at the blue line. Tar Heel defense at least will go off for a change. NC State trying to deal with a bouncing puck in the far corner. Skitters out into the middle of the ice. Deflected all the way over to the near side. That's Glonick sending it deep. Will get pinned in that near corner. NC State comes away with it, banked off the glass and out. Glonick sends it right back in for the Tar Heels. And Addison Lawrence will steer it into the far corner. NC State looks to break out once again. Cross ice pass to the far side, intended there for Joey Govea on and off his stick. And it's loose in neutral ice. Picked up by NC State's Cade Cox, who sends it deep. Gleason tracks it down for North Carolina. Not a lot of sustained possession here. Both teams kind of getting stuck up in the neutral zone right now. Grady for North Carolina finds Gleason, who gains the red line and sends it deep. Lawrence will set it on a tee behind the goal. Instead decides to wrist it around. Thrown on goal by North Carolina, patted away by Lawrence. NC State looking to break out. Miscue on the pass, but a bad touch there from Gleason leaves it loose on that far side. And North Carolina able to regather. Daniel Coburn sends it off the boards, chases it down behind the net, knocks his man off the puck, but unable to hold on to it. NC State in control. Govea up the near wall. Will be poked at by Bailey. Did get out, so a delayed offside forces North Carolina to check up. Some space for NC State, but man, really struggling with those breakout passes right now. Now McConaughey elevates that puck up, and out bouncing puck. Tracked down by Thomas McEnany. Got it knocked back the other way. Now it's Kaufman for NC State. Nice little pass to the middle, intended there for Nick Shook. He'll have to chase it down in the near corner. Backhands it behind the net. Couple of ice pack forecheckers there. Kaufman, some help from McEnany. Now Shook up to the high slot. Slides under the stick of Alex James, who able to hold the zone, but only throws it back behind the net. Good pressure in the defensive zone from North Carolina. They're not giving NC State much time to do anything. And now the Tar Heels will clear it out. David Mahan with the forecheck, takes it away. Couldn't get the shot on goal. Puck will stay in though. Curley sends it down the wall. There was Glonick. And will be carried back around by Kewendoy. He's dispossessed. Shook sends it off the wall. Kaufman slaps it in. NC State forwards need a change. 3 minutes gone in this first period. Both teams still trying to get settled in, it feels like. Herman backhand pass. Hop the stick of Florian Zajic. Here's a chance for NC State. Oliver's pass to the middle is deflected by a sliding Nick Curley, who prevents a golden opportunity for the Ice Pack. Now a chance to reverse direction. It's O'Shaughnessy. Sends it forward. It'll be chased down to cancel out the icing by Tommy Gilligan. Taken away from him in the corner by Thronson. They'll send a bouncing puck up the wall. Zajic thought he held the zone, but they'll call offsides. And we got our first stoppage. Fast pace so far, Nick.
Yeah, fast pace, and I think that's caused a little bit of sloppy play right now. Seeing a lot of bouncing pucks a lot of times. Just players not being able to control it. However, we've seen some good defensive plays, especially on the UNC end.
Yeah, and you can definitely see the extra adrenaline showing here in the early going. Nick Curley has it for North Carolina. D-to-D with Zajic. He'll backhand it up the wall where it can be collected by Cole Kozowski. Across for Gilligan. Matched up with Thronson, who blocks that shot. Still loose, and it'll be O'Shaughnessy sending it deep for the Tar Heels. Gilligan puts it behind the net for Kozowski. He'll turn with it, looking for some time and space. NC State's not giving it to him. Loose in the near corner. Kozowski trying to send it up the wall, but he got knocked off the puck before he could do so. NC State alleviates some of the pressure. And now North Carolina sends it all the way back down for an icing call. 15:42 to go in the first period. And it just really, especially for NC State, it just does not seem like they're able to break out of the zone cleanly. Even when they have time, the passes aren't hitting.
Yeah, and they've definitely controlled possession. I think the puck's been bounced. Yeah. It seems like the emotions have also gone into the puck the way it's been bounced. They're just having a hard time getting those breakout passes.
Face-off one backwards by Philip Bailey. Cox with the shot, blocker down by Hughes, and he'll swat it into the corner with that big goalie stick. North Carolina can break it out. O'Shaughnessy picks up speed as he gains the red line. He'll stop and send it in. Tar Heels need a change. That'll give NC State some time to move it out. Here's Cade Cox under some pressure, looking for Bailey. It bounces off his stick, but there to help out is Robinson, who dumps it deep. First one to it is the North Carolina captain, Henry Foster, trying to break it out up that far side. Intended for Matt Grady. It went through his skates, and Foster tracks it down and sends it deep. Good forecheck there from the captain. And now North Carolina will set up in the offensive end. Off-angle shot, handled easily by Lawrence. And now NC State with a chance to clear. Elevated breakout pass, gets caught up at the blue line. Held in, though, by North Carolina. NC State with some space. This time Cox can skate it out into neutral ice, sends it rink wide, gets caught up in the skates of Robinson. Loose puck, tracked down by Cox. He'll skate it behind the net, looking for some help, and now whistle. And
the net came off.
Yeah, it looks like the net came off down there, so we'll get a stoppage. And it looks like an offensive zone faceoff, I believe, here for NC State. But that's a little bit unfortunate for the Ice Pack. That seemed to be a really good possession starting there.
Yeah, Cox was skating in deep, and Philip Bailey was camped out right in front of the net. It's unfortunate. They're going to bring this back to center ice. Really just tough break for the Ice Pack. It seemed like that was really their best chance tonight.
Scott Daniel on the draw for NC State against Leighton Walsh. It'll be tied up, and North Carolina able to advance it forward. They'll send it into the Ice Pack bench. We'll get another neutral zone faceoff.
Some of the emotions are playing high, but both teams are kind of mimicking each other right now. Very even game so far. Still got plenty of time to go. I think a mistake is going to be the big reason why we see a bit of a momentum shift.
NC State controls off the draw. Noah Scherf sends it around the wall. Looking to the middle was Bresingham, but his pass intercepted and sent right in on Lawrence, who handles it easily.
And once again, NC State having trouble picking it out. And that's going to be a big factor tonight. Right now, so NC State a lot of troubles. Granted, I think NC State as well. It's like they're not crisp with these passes, and they just don't seem like they're in it right now.
North Carolina breaks it in off the face-off. Quick shot from the blue line from Wills Kendrick Holmes, just off the mark. Tar Heels will keep the pressure up on the near side. Collected by O'Shaughnessy, looking to the middle. Had a Tar Heel upended. They can't get the shot away. Now NC State has numbers if they move quickly. Herman down the right wing, cutting towards the net. Defended nicely, and the puck ends up behind the net. Herman collects, looking to the middle. It's right off the stick of his intended target there in Alex James. And now North Carolina brings it back the other way. Stepping in there was Kozowski, dispossessed. Aiden Brenner picks up the loose puck, and the Ice Pack move forward. Now it's Oliver looking to the middle. He's got Brenner, steps through three Tar Heels. Can't get past the last one in Zajic, though. And UNC back in possession. O'Shaughnessy knocked off the puck. McEnany holds the blue line on the near side. NC State back to work on the forecheck. McEnany and Kaufman down there will force a clearance into the netting. And we'll get a face-off right here in the North Carolina zone. But NC State starting to feel their way into the offensive end a little bit more, Nick.
Yeah, they definitely are. UNC as well is starting to get more offensive zone time. Tommy Gilligan and Addison Lawrence were tied up on the other end on that last good offensive chance for NC State. So a bit of the chippiness coming into play right now in this round.
Will be brought up the near right side by Zach Mengel. Knocked off his stick. NC State able to collect the bouncing puck at the red line. Kaufman steps across the blue line, surrounded by white jerseys. All he can do is get it deep. Behind the net, McEnany out in front. Quick turnaround shot from Shook, missed the net. Back in control, Thomas McEnany. Forced into that far corner where he's knocked off the puck. Tar Heels looking to break it out. Pass was behind Mangle. And now Thronson will battle with him. But it's North Carolina coming back away with it. They'll force it down the near wall. Just over 7 minutes gone. Not a lot of shots so far.
I don't think the stream's back yet. I think that's what he's trying to do now. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Here's a chance for NC State. Apologize for the technical difficulties, but Bressingham stuffs it just wide on a shorthanded chance. The next stoppage here will catch you up. It has been a wild few minutes. Apologies, we had some power issues here at Invisalign Arena. Everything squared away, though. It is currently 1-1. NC State scored. North Carolina responded 6 seconds later. And now a roughing penalty to Cedric Herman has NC State killing off now the final 45 seconds of that man advantage for North Carolina. Mahan sends it behind for Kozowski as the Tar Heels set up the power play out in front. One-timer, they score. Tommy Gilligan this time. And the Tar Heels with a 2-1 lead.
Back-to-back goals for UNC. The first one was scored by Daniel Cobber, and this one on the power play. Right after UNC scored their first goal is when NC State took that penalty. It was Zach Herman with the roughing, like you mentioned, Chris. And we're not going to be able to get a replay. We're still trying to work everything out. Again, we do apologize for our technical difficulties. But 2-1 Tar Heels. We've seen a lot happen in the last 2 minutes. This game's catching up to speed now.
NC State wins the draw, sent right in on Hughes, who handles it easily. Cleared back out by North Carolina. Yes, so with 8:15 left in the first period, NC State finally broke things open with a deflection from Robinson to take the 1-0 lead. But it took only 6 seconds for North Carolina's Daniel Cobber to even things up. And of course, not long after that, in fact, just 17 seconds after NC State had taken the lead, they were in the penalty box trying to kill off that penalty. They had Herman in the penalty box and were trying to kill off the penalty. Good sustained pressure here from the Ice Pack, trying to respond after falling behind. This is an extended breakout pass. That'll be sent right back in. Glonick in control. No reset behind the Tar Heel net. Throws it right in to McEnany, but Ice Pack unable to control. Held in by McConaughey at the blue line. Too much pressure, though, from the Tar Heels. Leighton Walsh will carry it out. Gives his teammates some time to change and then turns it over. Now a chance for Nick Shook moving in. He'll take a shot. Rebound left out in front by Hughes, and he gets a pad to the second one from Shook as well. Good chance there for NC State. And now the Tar Heels send it out. Hard hit on Henry Foster, who is really slow getting over the boards for the Tar Heels. NC State continue with the pressure. Robinson across for Bailey, but it's in his skates, and he can't steer it on goal. Still extended pressure. McConaughey hacking at it. But Carolina able to switch it to the near side. Gilligan mishandles a pass, though. Puck getting caught up on the ice a little bit here. Both teams struggling a bit. Here's Govea for the Pack. Sends it towards the goal, deflected out into the slot. One-timer from Bailey. Bounces in, and Hughes will swallow it up for a face-off.
Good puck control in front for Hughes. How about those last couple chances there for NC State? Able to get the puck right in front of the net. We saw a couple of great breakaways. UNC kind of got caught lacking there on the line change, but NC State's trying to answer it back. They're a little furious after the last penalty they took, now down 2-1. That's what kind of cost them a couple games up in Kentucky, not being able to really get themselves good off the power play.
Here's a chance in front. Ooh, just wide from Herman. He scored one very similar to that against Liberty a while back. Now the Tar Heels back to work on offense. Shot coming, pad save made by Lawrence, cleared away by Alex James. North Carolina still in control. Centering pass got through everybody and will be sent all the way down the ice. Curley will track it down for North Carolina. Pressure there from NC State's Aiden Brenner. Forced back behind. Now Zajic. Hard breakout pass up the wall. Will be bodied down. Carolina has trouble controlling. James sends it back in. Set up behind the goal by Hughes. Now Curley for the Tar Heels. Good forecheck here from NC State. It has not been easy for North Carolina to get it out of the zone. Brenner takes control. NC State will reset out in the neutral zone. Labrisi looking through the middle. He finds Herman at the Carolina blue line. He'll chip it around Zajic. Absorbs the hit and continues on. Finds Bresingham. Quick pass out in front, stolen away. North Carolina will reverse play. Big hit there on Mangle by Daniel. NC State has it back again. I'll send it deep. Daniel in on the forecheck with Bresingham. Forces Curley back behind. Daniel after it again. Now Bresingham behind the net. Looking for somebody out in front. Finds Thronson at the blue line. Wrist shot. Slides wide of the net. It'll be taken off the back ball by Florian Zajic. Good hand-eye there from Bresingham to knock down the clearance, but the second try is up and out for the Tar Heels. Bresingham back to it again. He'll send it deep. Heck of a shift from this forward line for NC State. Now Nick Curley up the middle of the ice. Angles over to that far side. Backhands it deep. Labrisi will chase after it for NC State. Under 3 minutes left in this first period. Still a 2-1 lead. It was quite a hectic 2.5 minutes where we saw the 3 goals scored. But it is a 2-1 lead for North Carolina right now. Nick Shook. He'll throw it into the near corner. Carolina immediately looks to clear it out. Glove down by McConaughey. Able to get it to his stick. Finds McEnany. Puck hops on him. Glove down again, and this time North Carolina will clear it all the way out. And McConaughey backtracks for it. Up for Shook, looking for McEnany. That's swatted back out of the zone by the Tar Heel defense. Cade Cox in control. Finds McEnany, backhanded to Shook, top of the right circle. He hits Gleason with the wrister. Loose puck comes out to Cox. He'll hit a body with his shot. Carolina back in control. One of the goal scorers, Coburn, has his pass intercepted. Nick Shook at the red line now for NC State. Feathers went along for Kaufman. Beautiful pass back for Shook, but it's in his skates. And now North Carolina moves it back up and out. Daniel Coburn gains the red line and sends it in. NC State able to knock it down and reverse play quickly. McConaughey slides one into the Carolina zone. Kaufman in on the forecheck on Gleason. He'll send it up the wall for Henry Foster, who has his pass stolen away. Govea for NC State leaves it for Robinson. He takes the shot, swallowed up by Joel Hughes. And another offensive zone face-off for NC State with 1:25 to go in the period.
Well, NC State, again, offensive pressure. They've definitely now they've definitely had more puck control in the offensive end, but UNC's doing a fantastic job swallowing up any chance that NC State has in the middle. They're not letting them attack the middle. They're forcing them outside. NC State keeps trying it, but that's where we see those bouncing pucks. And we see those situations like we saw earlier where NC State just can't hang on to it.
Carolina wins the draw. Gilligan with the breakout pass to center ice for Kozowski. He'll direct it to Ben Edwards, who sends it deep. NC State collects behind their own net. It's Labrisi. Hands it off for his defensive partner in Thronson. Now NC State breaks out. Move forward by Herman. Looking to the middle. That pass deflected. Loose for Emery Oliver to pick up top of the near circle. He'll carry it behind. Knocked off the puck by Kendrick Holmes. Pinching in Labrisi, trying to hold the zone. Gilligan able to get a bouncing puck to O'Shaughnessy. Forward for Kozowski, who is in offsides with the little bit of a hiccup there. He came in before the puck did. There's 45 seconds left in this first period now.
Shots 8 to 8 apiece. You can see getting most of their shots on that power play. NC State lately has got that shot number up. Haven't seen a lot of UNC's time on offensive end recently, so NC State's getting that shift in momentum, but UNC's defense just swallowed them up, not letting them get many shots.
Ooh, big hit there on Zach Robinson. Knocked down in the neutral zone. He's a bit slow to get up. Labrisi returns the favor for him, but it's Henry Foster firing one from the high slot that whistles just wide. Up the near side, Bailey swings it across to the far side. Nobody there in a black jersey. Zajic first there for North Carolina. He'll send it forward. Now Foster collects the loose puck, sweeps it back to the middle, and it's shot wide there by Patrick Peltola. Down to 12 seconds left in the period. Labrisi looking to break it out for NC State. Maybe one last chance. Elevated pass, gets past Robinson. Zajic sends it back into neutral ice. And this should finish off period number 1. So NC State strikes first, but it's back-to-back goals from North Carolina that has the Tar Heels up 2-1. And Nick, one of the things we talked about, special teams coming into play early.
Yeah, NC State taking a penalty. cost them in the past. It cost them a couple games ago against Kentucky. It cost them in the first period here. UNC up to a 2-1 lead. I also think right after the goal, they kind of caught napping. UNC just immediately went down the ice, got a quick shot, and scored it. But I think NC State's had a good response since then. They've had a lot of offensive zone time. The question is, can they sustain some good shots, and can they find a solution to this great UNC defense?
So after 20 minutes, NC State trailing North Carolina 2-1. We'll be back with the first intermission.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library, Don Diablo.
Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
We've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library, Don Diablo.
Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Well, despite taking a 1-0 lead, NC State trails North Carolina 2-1 after the first period. Chris Lamb and Nick Prozzi back with you. And Nick, quick recap of that first period. As mentioned, NC State gets the first goal, but you could tell early that the energy, the adrenaline was there, and it was leading to some jitters and some mistakes.
Yeah, we saw a lot of trouble for NC State getting that breakout pass going from their own defensive end, which they worked on, and I think they've resolve those problems, but they have a couple of other problems right now, and it's kind of on the scoreboard. Shows 2-1. I think that's their big problem.
Yeah, so for those of you who may have missed it, unfortunately, a little bit of a technical glitch for us here. So we did miss the first 2 goals, but a beautiful deflection from Zach Robinson, deflected off his stick, off the post, then off of Joel Hughes and in. And it looked like NC State was off and running, but any good team knows how to respond, and North Carolina did just that. It took just 6 seconds for the Tar Heels to tie the game up. It was Daniel Cobber who evened up the score for the Tar Heels, and then just 11 seconds after that, NC State gets caught with a little bit of a late hit. Zach Herman ends up in the box for roughing and a power play goal. We talked about special teams, and that's the difference right now.
Yeah, and NC State even had a good chance shorthanded with Drew Bressingham on that great breakaway right when we cut back to being live, but penalties, penalties, penalties. That was preached in the pregame by Coach Tim Healy, and it's cost them again, and I think it's kind of a big story this season is just the penalties come at inopportune times, and it's the reason why they're down on the scoreboard a lot this year.
Yeah, well, the good thing for NC State is they did start to sustain pressure at the end of the period. Again, they were getting good chances, so they're working in the right direction as they headed into the intermission. We're going to step aside here. We've got the goal scorer, Zach Robinson, coming up next.
Life is for learning, and that doesn't stop with graduation. A great university goes far beyond campus. It allows you to see the big picture. A great university gives you tools, community, partnership, a launch pad. You don't just go to NC State University. You take us with you. NC State. Think and do.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library,
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
I'm Delaney Kearns here with goal scorer Zach Robinson. Zach, how did it feel to have the first goal in tonight's game?
It was a pretty good feeling. I felt like we had a lot of pressure early in the game there, so it was good to finally see one go in. Unfortunately, they got one back right after, but it was nice to see one finally go in.
Yeah, how are you handling the pressure of such a highly anticipated game?
I mean, obviously there's a lot of fans in the crowd out there, so it's a nice atmosphere to play in front of, but I think we need to just embrace it a little more next period and just understand that we just got to play the game of hockey no matter what the crowd is.
Yeah. What can I expect to see from the Ice Pack moving into this next period?
Just a lot more energy and a lot more speed.
All right. Thanks, Zach. We'll be right back with more hockey in a minute.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. NC State. Think and do.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Chris Lehman, Nick Prozzi back with you here at Invisalign Arena after 20 minutes, a 2-1 lead for North Carolina over NC State. One thing we did not touch on yet in the intermission here, Nick, is the fact that NC State did actually score a goal before the one that actually counted as the first goal, but it ended up getting called back because the net was off its moorings. It was a bit confusing, though, because the net was off, but it wasn't really affecting the play, and so NC State, I think, a little bit frustrated with the way that panned out.
Yeah, and we were talking to Zach Robinson before his interview, and he mentioned how last weekend at Kentucky they had a similar situation where the goal got dislodged. They had a goal not allowed. But then against Indiana scored a goal like that, but the goal counted. So we were a little confused as well, and that's the second time that net's been dislodged. And we see that net always get dislodged a lot, especially here at Invisalign Arena. So a bit of confusion with the rule, and it would have been Joey Govea's second of the year, would have had 11 points. So really big chance for NC State, opportunity, which would have the game tied right now and would have had them up 2-0. Instead, they fall on the wrong side of that break.
NC State, we talked about kind of trending in the right direction at the end of the period. One other bright spot, I thought at least, of that period, even though he gives up 2 goals on 8 shots, is Addison Lawrence. He looked poised. You really can't fault him too much on those goals. One of them comes on a power play, comes out from behind the net a one-timer. It's a hard one to stop. So I think Addison Lawrence has looked very good for NC State, and I think that's a good thing, is you don't have to worry about the goaltending behind you. You can focus on the goal scoring you need.
Yeah, and I think NC State needs to focus on that as well. They need to know, hey, we've got a solid rock in the net behind us. We need to help them out as well, not take these penalties that are going to cost us in the long run. But we also need to focus on the offensive end. We know we could take a bit of a chance, maybe going for a 50-50 puck. Know that Addison Lawrence is back there, going to have a good chance to make that save. So right now, if NC State comes out firing like the way they played at the end of that first period, I think we might see the puck in the back of the net very, very soon.
Well, we're about halfway through this intermission. NC State trailing North Carolina 2-1 at the moment. We'll be back on PackTV.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad-spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad-spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad-spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
We are closing in on the start of the second period between NC State and UNC. Chris Lehman, Nick Prazzi back with you. Tar Heels leading the Ice Pack 2-1, but as we've talked about, NC State was starting to get themselves back into a more of a control position at the end of the period. They had a lot more zone time. They were getting some chances. So I would expect to see more of the same. If you're NC State, if you can come out with that same energy, you're going to put yourself in a good spot.
Yeah, and I think if they come out with that energy and they're able to solve UNC's kind of traffic jam that they caused right in front of the net, which is causing NC State not to have as many shots as you would think they would have. They only have 8 on the board right now. I think if they solve that problem out, they get a couple looks from the point maybe, I think that might help them out in the long run. But as for defending UNC right now, I think they're doing a good job. I think they just need to get back.
Yeah, and I think one thing that we hit on that has been a huge impact on this game on both sides is the forecheck. We mentioned how good both teams are forechecking, and we saw it throughout the course of that first period. There were times where NC State really had trouble getting out and getting into the offensive zone, and there were times where it was the same for North Carolina. So I think whoever is able to continue that forecheck, or really whoever's able to solve the opponent's forecheck first and find a way to get out cleanly and get quickly into the offensive end and transition into that attack quickly, is the team that's going to have the advantage.
Yeah, and like I mentioned before as well, I think whoever makes that first mistake first might be the kind of deciding factor for momentum, and it was NC State that made the error first, which caused them a goal with that penalty. But I think going into the second period, NC State's going to have a lot of energy. The band's playing again right now. The fans are still rowdy as always. So I think if they're feeding off that energy, which I think we mentioned a lot at the top of the show, if they are flying to the puck, I think UNC's going to be caught off guard a little bit this period, and it might set up for a very good and fun third period.
As we look forward to that second period, NC State, of course, needs to make up a goal. So as we look at what they need to do, for me, if you're NC State, shots are 8-8, as we've mentioned. NC State, though, to me, has had a little bit higher quality shots, a little bit better chances. So if NC State can capitalize, continue to get the better chances, but put them in the back of the net, they're going to have themselves in a good spot.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, the higher chances for NC State's helped them out. Defensively, I think they've done a good job. Just the power play wasn't helpful, and then a one-timer from the point cost the first goal for UNC. So on offense, I think what NC State needs to do is I think they need to get a sustained, good, long zone time, maybe set up some plays, get some nice, clean passes in, and kind of just play a little more crisp. And I think that's going to help them out in the long run.
Well, we can hear the boys getting set to head back out onto the ice for period number 2. So we'll step aside and be back with puck drop of the second. It's 2-1 Tar Heels over the Ice Pack.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. NC State. Think and do.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
You can see both teams back out on the ice as we get set for the second 20 minutes of hockey. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi with you at Invisalign Arena. NC State trailing UNC 2-1 at the moment, but this is going to be, I think, a really important start to the period, Nick, as we talked about. NC State, even though they're down, it felt like they were carrying the momentum into this second period, and they're going to have to keep that going.
Yeah, they just got to keep offense in zone time. They're getting good shot selection right now. They just got to solve that log jam right in the middle. But I think what NC State needs to do is really to sustain that time. We're seeing a lot of their shots come on the fast break when they get in deep. So expect a little bit more zone time maybe for NC State. Expect UNC to try to get picky about it and try to break one out.
It looks like NC State will start the same five they started in the first period. The forward line will be Emery Oliver, flanked by Aiden Brenner and Zach Herman. On the back end, Breezy and Bronson. Top line out there for North Carolina of O'Shaughnessy, Kozowski, and Gilligan. It'll be O'Shaughnessy down that far right wing for North Carolina. Quick shot right into the gut of Lawrence. He'll hold on for a quick face-off. Just 11 seconds gone in this second period.
And leading scores, leading goal scorer for UNC coming on right down the ice. Give him a quick shot on Addison Lawrence, making sure he's ready for this period.
Tar Heels win the draw. Far blue line, it's Curley. He'll send it around the wall behind the net. Kozowski tangled up there with Labreezy. He comes free. Sent out to the blue line, Zajic. D with Curley. Slap shot coming, hit a body on the way through. Emery Oliver going to chase after the puck that deflected all the way down the ice. And now Joe Hughes. Ooh, he almost sent that back out in front of his own net. That was one thing that has been a little bit problematic for Hughes this year is his puck handling ability. It almost cost him there. NC State still in on the forecheck. Brenner collects it behind the goal. Sweeps it out in front. Nobody there. Cade Cox keeps it at the blue line. Throws a shot off of O'Shaughnessy. And now Carolina trying to clear it up the near wall. Kozowski backhands it to the middle. A little bit behind Gilligan. He's able to find it in his skates, though. Tied up by Cox. And now Thronson collects the loose puck for NC State.
Good defensive play by Thronson and Cade Cox right there.
Thronson trying to set up the breakout. Some pressure there from Kozowski. Now Cox, rink wide for Brenner. He'll settle down a bouncing puck. Beautiful move around Henry Foster. Slides it across looking for Herman, who takes it off the wall. Herman has his stick lifted. Foster comes away with it for North Carolina. Over to help is Brenner. And it's a four-man scrum that North Carolina clears out of the zone. Now Cade Cox for the Ice Pack will send it in. About a minute and a half gone in the second period. NC State getting back in on the forecheck once again. Centering pass. Unable to connect with Cade Cox. He'll send it back up the wall for Robinson, who's stamped into the boards. NC State neutral ice. Cox just trying to lift it deep and having trouble getting it past the blue line. Steps around his man, but can't get back to the puck. Now North Carolina in control. It's Foster. Tar Heel captain turns it over. Cade Cox finds Robinson. Absorbs a bit of a hit from Gleason and is able to gain the blue line, but not much further. Now it's Peltola. Takes a shot from an off angle. Blocker down by Lawrence. Rebound loose behind the net. First one to it was Matt Grady, but he lost his footing. And NC State takes back possession. Govea's breakout pass to the middle. Misses its target. Now it's Glonick for the Tar Heels. Sends it up the wall. Continued along by Grady. Leighton Walsh will be in on the forecheck as Cade Cox gets there first for NC State. Cox knocked the puck by Walsh. And he's dispossessed behind the net by Govea, who takes a hit as he tries to break it out. Held in at the blue line by Glonick.
He'll sweep it around the wall. Cade Cox first there for the Ice Pack, trying to turn away from Coburn. Good forecheck now for North Carolina, stealing it away. Mahan backhand try, skitters in on Lawrence, who pounces on it with the glove and covers for another faceoff. But we're seeing those forechecks again. NC State had a good sustained forecheck for a minute, and now it's North Carolina's turn.
I think North Carolina's forecheck really benefited there because Cade Cox and a couple of those other Ice Pack players had a very long shift. They weren't able to get off the ice because the UNC forecheck was just so well, and it's got them with an offensive zone face-off. Had two really good chances right in front of the net as well.
NC State will control off the defensive zone draw. Having trouble, though, behind their own net. There to help out, Alex James finds Holden Kaufman. Kaufman, this line, had a really good first period. Nick Shook out there as well as Thomas McEnany on that forward line. They were the guys who really kind of spearheaded the effort at the end of the period. James holds the blue line, but his shot blocked down, and now Leighton Walsh has it for North Carolina. Trying to step past Nick Shook, who bodies him off the puck. Now Cowan in there along with Walsh as they battle for it in the near corner. NC State's McEnany comes away with it. He'll sweep it behind the goal. Cowan gives it back. Bank pass out into neutral ice. Nick Shook has some time and space. Sends it cross ice. Holden Kaufman collects. He's got speed. Tried to sweep it towards the net. That was denied by Wills Kendrick Holmes. They'll send it back up the wall for James. Wrapped around the boards. Nick Shook first to it in the near corner. Looking to center. Fans on the pass. Puck still loose though. And white jerseys are the first to it. Here's Kewan Doig trying to step through James, who had none of it. And now NC State turns it back the other way. Kaufman's pass off the stick of Shook. Bad clearance, though, from the Tar Heel defense, and Kaufman steps back in. Fires away and hits a stick. It'll be out of play for a faceoff.
Really good play on the defensive end there by UNC. How about NC State getting back onto the offensive zone? They're getting their shot selection again like we saw at the end of that first period. Not as intense as we saw, but they're starting to make a bit smarter decisions. We're starting to see the play kind of slow down a little bit, which is kind of helping them out.
Off the face-off, quick shot from Drew Bressingham on the top of the circle. Doesn't get through. North Carolina will control. And just to build off of that point there, Nick, the counter here in the arena at least has NC State now at 11 shots. North Carolina still at 8. So 3-0 advantage early on in this period in shots for the Ice Pack. Labrizzi holds the near blue line, but looks like it might have gotten caught up in the bench a little bit, so they'll blow the whistle and reset play outside of the UNC zone.
Daniel Scott was skating right in with the puck, no one in between him and Joel Hughes. Once again, NC State just cannot catch the break that they need with the stoppages. Saw two with the nets, one of them cost them a goal. Right now, right there, it's another big one. Even though the puck did go out of play, if that stays in, that is a massive opportunity for the Pack.
It's Emery Oliver winning the faceoff over Patrick O'Shaughnessy. NC State will go to work on offense. Oliver in the near corner. Looking for some help. Too many white jerseys there, though. And now it's Cole Kozowski moving out for the Tar Heels. Across. Gilligan sends it right in on Lawrence. Bad rebound. NC State clears it out of danger for the moment, and a deflected shot by Kozowski is steered away by Lawrence. Couple good chances there for North Carolina. They'll keep the pressure on as O'Shaughnessy lifts it into the far corner. Kozowski chases. Thronson there for NC State. He'll swat it up for Herman, who backhands it back behind the goal. Now Labrizzi. D-to-D with his partner, Thronson. Looking forward at the blue line. Herman had trouble with a bouncing puck. It's all the way down for icing.
Well, you noted in the pregame, Chris, that first line for UNC is going to give NC State a whole sort of problems, and it really has. Cole Kozowski right in front of the net. A beautiful play there for the Tar Heels. Can't finish on it, but Kozowski, O'Shaughnessy, Gilligan, that first line for UNC is giving the Ice Pack a lot of troubles. They may not have a goal for it. Tommy Gilligan does. He has a goal to show for it. And so far, they're getting the shots, they're getting the looks right now, and it's causing NC State a lot of trouble.
Scrub for it off the defensive zone draw. NC State comes away with it. They can't advance past the red line, though. And the Tar Heels send it right back in. And we'll do it again. Labrizzi up the far wall for Herman. He'll leave it for an overlapping Oliver. He's got some speed, and he'll carry it into the offensive end. Trying to step around his man. And Cam Glonick, and lost his footing. North Carolina comes away with it on that far wall. Speed moving forward now for Peltola. Steps around his defenseman, takes the shot, and it's bodied away by Lawrence, who got just enough of it to direct it wide.
Got a delayed
pressure
penalty
here from North Carolina, and they're going to draw a penalty here. It'll be the second power play. The initial signal is an elbowing call, and the guilty party, the same as the first period, Zach Herman.
It happened on the complete other end of the ice, the NC State offensive end. I didn't really see what happened there, but I saw the ref in the far corner put his hands up. That great chance that UNC had 2-on-1. Not able to finish it off, but again, another power play, something that's cost NC State a lot. So a big opportunity for UNC to have a chance to go up 3-1.
Well, the Tar Heels, despite struggling on the power play a bit this season, they've got the talent to make it work. Foster, top of the umbrella. Moving across for Kozowski, he lost it. NC State clears it all the way down. The other thing that makes this power play a little bit more dangerous in the second period is the long change. It's going to be a little bit harder for NC State to get their penalty killers off the ice. O'Shaughnessy sends it off the far wall where it's collected by Gilligan. He'll stop in the far corner with it. Trying to leave it there, able to retrieve it. Finds Kozowski in the corner, who's dispossessed. Loose puck picked up by Bresingham. He'll lift it off the glass and out. NC State able to at least get one change as Emery Oliver gets onto the ice. Up the near side, Mahan. Between his legs, leaves it for O'Shaughnessy, who's knocked down hard by Cade McConaughey. Carolina holds the zone, though. Turnaround shot from that far side goal line. Doesn't really challenge Lawrence. Down to a minute, a little less now, on the man advantage for UNC. Gilligan tied up. Mahan taken down. NC State comes away with it. It's Cade Cox. Maybe a shorthanded chance as Cox steps into the UNC end. Now he's going to clear it in. We've got a hand up. Looks like NC State is going to get their first power play here shortly. A slashing call against North Carolina's Cole Kozowski.
On the other end, UNC is lucky they didn't get a call as well. O'Shaughnessy was slashing after that massive hit. He was giving little slashes over on Cade McConaughey, didn't get the call, and then NC State got away with the hooking in that corner, which had a couple of the UNC fans up in arms. A couple of missed calls there, but it results in NC State getting the power play.
So the power play for North Carolina will stop now. They only got about a minute 18. That's how much NC State will have after the 42 seconds on the elbowing penalty to Zach Herman expires. 12:52 left in this second period. NC State still looking for the equalizer. We'll play 4-on-4 for a little over 40 seconds. UNC controls. They'll move it up the near side. That's Curley breaking into the zone. Holds up at the top of the circles. Has it stolen away by Robinson. Zach Robinson moving up. State does not have the numbers, though, so a little bit conservative here. Robinson circles behind the net before he loses control. A little bit of help there to pick it up, though. That's Bailey. Across for Cox. He finds Robinson near side. Cutting through the middle. Robinson holds on to possession, backhands it behind for Labrisi. He'll be pinned to the wall by Florian Zajic as NC State now has a minute 18 on the man advantage with Zach Herman backed off out of the penalty box. Joey Govea, the fresh body onto the ice for NC State. He gets at it after it back behind the goal, trying to kick it loose. Carolina comes away with it in the corner, then Zajic trying to clear and can't. Cade Cox pinches but can't hold the zone, and now North Carolina can make some changes. They'll get 3 of their 4 penalty killers off. Down to about 50 seconds left on the power play for NC State here.
Philip Bailey, I feel like he's just lurking once he comes into the middle. He's looking for a shot right in the slot, but UNC, once that puck is in the corner behind the net, they're doing a fantastic job of trapping the ice back.
Here comes Govea with some speed down the near right wing. Backhand pass to the middle. Nobody there in a black jersey. NC State looking to set up the power play now. Dumped in by James. Nobody below the goal line, though, and Jack Gleason sends it up the wall. Bodied down by Bailey. Down to 24 seconds left on the man advantage. Here's James looking things over. Under a little bit of pressure. Elevates it over to Bailey. He'll try and turn away. Loses the puck. Govea there to pick it up. Takes the shot, and it looked like it hit the post and deflects out of the zone. NC State running out of time now on the power play. North Carolina going to force them way back, so it looks like the ice pack going to come up empty on this first power play, even though it was a little bit abbreviated. Alex James under a little duress, trying to lift it out. Glove down by Bailey, and it's first touched by James, so a hand pass will bring the face-off back to the NC State zone.
Really good penalty kill for UNC. That's one of the big reasons why they allowed only 25 goals coming into this game, 26 now in the year, is because they have such a suffocating defense. And that penalty kill really showed it there. NC State was kind of out of sorts. They weren't able to kind of get their spacing like they needed, and it's the reason why they were able to kill off the penalty.
Off the draw, quick pass in front, nobody there for North Carolina. They have controlled the face-off circle for a good portion of this game. Coming off sides though, face-off will come out on top of the NC State blue line. Not quite halfway through this second period. NC State out shooting North Carolina in the second, 6-1 at the moment, according to the shot totals here on the in-arena scoreboard. But again, NC State just not finding the back of the net right now. Cade Cox has it for NC State. After they win the draw, he'll gain the red line and send it in. First one to it is Nick Shook behind the Carolina goal. He'll lose possession, but has some help there from Kaufman. Looking out in front, has a man high slot. One-timer blocked. That was Cade Cox, the defenseman, coming in. But a break here for North Carolina. Kozowski has it poked off his stick. And we've got a whistle. There was a Carolina player that went down over in the middle of the ice. That was Tommy Gilligan. And I think he went down trying to stay on side. So NC State maybe catching a bit of a break there. You do have to give a nod to the defenseman there in Cade McConaughey, who made that poke check play on Kozowski to slow up the odd man rush.
Yeah, just a lucky bounce after that shot from Cade Cox allowed UNC to get that last good chance.
UNC wins the draw, immediately sends it back behind the NC State net. Cade Cox will circle for it and carry it out with speed. He has Herman on the near side. Trouble with the pass though, and NC State has to retreat as Carolina sends it the length of the ice. It'll be icing. They'll head back to the end with Joel Hughes.
It's a big face-off for NC State because of the long line change. UNC is not going to be able to do the line change because of the icing. So if NC State's able to sustain a little bit of offensive zone time here, they can catch UNC a little bit on the fatigue side, which can generate good things.
Off the draw, gets tied up. NC State's Emory Oliver comes away with it initially. He's dispossessed, but holding strong at the blue line is Cade Cox. NC State gets it deep. Tar Heels will take over. Nick Curley behind his own net. Has some trouble clearing. A pinching Cade Cox holds the far blue line. He'll elevate it to Brenner. Back to Cox. Zips a shot wide of Hughes. It'll wrap around the wall. Back to the blue line for McConaughey. He'll send it down low. Quick cross-ice pass. Bounces through to Herman. Can't settle it down, so he'll sweep it behind the goal. Tar Heels come away with it there. Banked back behind their goal. Herman the first one there under some pressure from Zach Mangel, who dispossesses him. McConaughey at the blue line holding strong, can't keep the puck in. And now NC State gonna make a change. 9 minutes left, NC State gonna have to get back, stretch pass out, and the deflected pass, unable to connect there with Cobber, but still a potential opportunity for Carolina. Good back check from Scott Daniel to disrupt that, but a bad line change. All 5 guys from NC State left the ice wide open, and they got away with a mistake there. Here's Bresingham. Absorbs a hit, holds onto the puck, goes cross ice, and finds Scherf. Quick shot from Noah Scherf, whistles wide. Ends up all the way back to the red line. Cowan there for it for NC State. He'll lift it in. Things settling down a little bit here. North Carolina slowing it up a bit. Long breakout pass intercepted by NC State. Scherf goes D to D for Cowan, who receives his breakout pass back. Now he'll lift it in from the red line. Wraps around the wall. Gleason first to it for North Carolina behind his own net. He finds Mangel up the far wall. Bodied off the puck by Bresingham. NC State back in control. Thronson over to Cowan. Back across, just out of the reach of Bresingham. And North Carolina clears it out again. Here goes Mangel. Thronson on him. They'll battle in the far corner. Mangel comes away with it. A little bit of help there from Doig. With the secondary help from NC State, Govea forces it up the wall. Held in by the Tar Heels. Doig, top of the far circle, throws it on goal, and it pinballs around. Lawrence able to keep it out. NC State will move forward. Bresingham on the far side. Has a trailer in Govea, but Philip Bailey is in offsides, and the faceoff comes back out of the zone.
Oh, what a chance right in front of the net for Zach Mangel. The puck was up in the air. He was looking for it. He had his eyes on it the entire time. But Addison Lawrence was able to adjust, got a little help from his defense. But I want to go back to that really just defensive, or more of a line change laps that NC State had, Cobber and Leighton Walsh were just slamming their sticks. They were both together for UNC, waiting for the puck to come. And if UNC looks up, that could easily be a 2-on-none.
Edwards' shot blocked by Robinson. It deflects out of the zone. Wills Kendrick Holmes at the red line, sends it right in on Lawrence. He'll hand it off for Thronson. Banks it behind the net to Labrizzi, who finds Robinson looking to stretch it out for Philip Bailey. He's going to get to the puck behind the net. Lost an edge, though, and the puck bounces out to Hughes, who will cover it up. Not a bad idea there from Robinson. A little bit too much oomph, though, on the pass.
Yeah, but the safety valve of that pass was that the goalie covers it up, and that's exactly what happened. So it was the right idea for Robinson. They got to get these stretch passes going, I think, and they're going to get an offensive zone face-off coming up, so we get some conversation between the referee and Joel Hughes. Not sure what that's about.
It looks like we might get a couple of penalties here. Zach Robinson in the penalty box for NC State. Thought we might see another. It looks like North Carolina is going to go on the power play here. And I believe was a misconduct on Robinson.
There's some action after
or unsportsmanlike conduct, I think is the call. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, it's a 2-minute power play here for North Carolina. Already one power play goal for the Tar Heels tonight. They'll win the draw and start in the offensive zone. Kozowski, nice pass across for O'Shaughnessy, who fires it off the pipe. It'll deflect off the crossbar and out of play, but a good chance there for North Carolina.
Really good play here by UNC. Watch Tommy Gilligan right in the middle. He's going to skate into the slot. They're going to think it's him, but O'Shaughnessy gets left wide open up top of the point, takes a skate, rips it in. That's why he's UNC's leading goal scorer right there.
Tar Heels win another draw. This shot from O'Shaughnessy right into the gut of Lawrence. He'll hold on for another face-off. Not a bad way to kind of kill some momentum on a power play. It hasn't been a lot of time elapsed on the man advantage for North Carolina, but anytime you can kind of keep them out of rhythm, I don't think that's a bad thing. Brenner and O'Shaughnessy on the draw again. Again, it's O'Shaughnessy with the win. He's got it now on the half wall. Knocked down by Bresingham, who clears the zone nicely. Far side, now Kozowski breaks it in. Bodied up by Oliver, he loses the puck, but Henry Foster there to collect. O'Shaughnessy back to the middle, quick shot, hit a stick and deflected out of play. Be another offensive zone face-off, but it feels, Nick, like the Tar Heels might smell some blood here.
Oh, they definitely are, and I could easily tell from Patrick O'Shaughnessy's stick handling. He wants it, and right in front of the net, David Mahan had a beautiful chance to hit a stick, got knocked into the netting, but 3 straight face-offs in 1 by Patrick O'Shaughnessy. He's going to come out for a line change, but another one for UNC.
And they will hold the zone once again. Curley looking things over at the top of the umbrella. Over to Walsh, down low. Foster sends it to the middle. It'll deflect back out to Curley. Now moved along for Cam Klonick. He's going to be upended by Govea. Tar Heels maintain control about halfway through the power play now. Shot from the point. Hit traffic on the way through. Deflects to the near corner where Walsh collects for the Tar Heels. Lovett knocked off his stick by McConaughey, and NC State's Cade Cox swings it around the wall and all the way down. So NC State able to make a couple of changes here to the penalty killing unit. Under 45 seconds left on the man advantage now for the Tar Heels. Steered in by Glonick. First one there is NC State's Labrizzi, who fails to clear. Glonick again takes the shot, hit the side of the net with it. Rebound collected by NC State again. This time Labrizzi with a successful clearance. Down to 22 seconds left on the power play. Hughes sends it up the near wall. Not a great pass though, and NC State steals it away. It's Bailey who received the pass from Aiden Brenner. Now Labrizzi clears it in with 10 seconds left on the man advantage. Good kill here from NC State.
Yeah, it started off not looking so great with all the face-offs won by UNC, but they did a great job managing that.
One last push from the Tar Heels. Shot there from Glonick, wide of the blocker side of Lawrence. NC State will counter. Zach Herman has some speed, trying to burn his defender Gleason, who ties him up nicely. Oh, maybe not so nicely. And I think we're going to see matching penalties here. Well, at least it looked like it initially. The official pointed over with both hands like he was taking 2. But it looks like, because that's what I thought he was going to do the last time too.
Yeah.
So he evened it up. Gleason, I would imagine, getting called for a hold. That would be a hook. And it is going to be matching. I thought he had pointed at both of them. Herman going to be called for a hook, and Gleason for holding the stick.
Herman is confused on why he got that penalty. That's his 3rd penalty tonight for Zach. So we'll go to 4-on-4 for another 2 minutes until 2:47 left. Last time we saw 4-on-4 and stayed at the power play at the end of it, they get the offensive zone draw here.
North Carolina will control off the face-off. They have won the majority of face-offs here in this period in particular. It's a big part of why they've been able to control this game here in the second. Kozowski breaking in, takes a shot steered up into the netting by Lawrence. And a face-off down in the NC State zone once again. But you know, as I look back at the penalties, it's interesting. It kind of goes along with the, you know, it's a penalty being called and then an embellishment call. You have a hook on Herman and then a holding the stick. Feels a little bit difficult to have both, but
yeah,
it will be 4-on-4. Creates some entertaining hockey here at 4-on-4. O'Shaughnessy to take the draw for North Carolina up against NC State. Zach Robinson. O'Shaughnessy dominant in face-off circle tonight, wins another. Tar Heels go to work. Kozowski loses an edge. NC State has numbers if they hurry. Zach Robinson down the near right wing. He's got Govea with him along with Cade Cox. Stopping up just inside the blue line. Tar Heels turn it over. Now it's Kozowski moving forward. Backhand to the middle. It looked like it went in, but it went off the crossbar. The official right there to make the call. And it'll stay 2-1. What an effort there from Kozowski and NC State. Getting a little bit lucky. We move back forward by Cade Cox. He finds Robinson. Taking it down that left wing. He runs into the linesman as he was steered there by Wills Kendrick Holmes. A little under a minute left of 4-on-4. O'Shaughnessy steps into the NC State zone and immediately has it swatted away. Edwards pressing in to hold the zone and does. O'Shaughnessy picks up the loose puck, fires from an odd angle. And Lawrence there to hold on.
We mentioned that first line. Sorry there, Chris. Mentioned that first line. Cole Kozowski. 2 beautiful chances back to back. And then I'm not sure if that second chance Toyer may have got a stick on it to save that goal. For sure Kozowski scored that goal, but he didn't. And we're still knotted at 2-1 right now. It's just fantastic goalkeeping from Addison Lawrence. That's the reason why he's in the net tonight.
I'd be interested to see that play from the goal line, because it looked, from our perspective, like it hit the back bar, but NC State still within 1, and now in control. It's Holden Kaufman. Finds James breaking in from the blue line. He'll carry behind the net. Turns back with it. Kaufman there to help out as Wills Kendrick Holmes knocks him off the puck. Now Foster breaks it out. He's got Poltola there. Knocked off his stick. Here's James. Pitchforked up the near wall. Shook. Pokes it past his defender and Edwards and carries it deep. He'll circle the net. Looking for some help. Knocked off the puck again by Kendrick Holmes, and North Carolina with the loose puck. Henry Foster backhands it across. Poltola leaves it there. It'll be walked in by Cobber, takes the shot, and it's off the stick of Cade Cox and out of play. NC State doing a pretty good job of getting in front of shots here tonight.
Yeah, but UNC on the other hand, to kind of counter your point there, Chris, UNC's getting a lot of great chances right in front of the net. They're just walking into the slot and taking it, but the bodies in front are getting the blocks. And Addison Lawrence has also done a fantastic job in net as well. This game's starting to become a bit of a defense. Really, the entire game has been a defensive stronghold.
It's been a bit of a stalemate here in the second period. Down to the last 2.5 minutes. NC State, by the scoreboard count at least, out-shooting North Carolina 12-2 this period. Bouncing puck, they score! Oh, it slipped through Hughes and in. Sometimes you just throw it at the net and see what happens, and Cade Cox ties it up.
I was not able to see this from our vantage point, but good things happen when you throw the puck on net from the red line, the center line, and it just slips by Joel Hughes. We're talking to UNC's coach before the game, he mentioned his stick handling was a big issue, but right there, it just can't happen in a game like that. A massive, massive break for the Ice Pack. They haven't had any breaks tonight, and now we're knotted up at 2 just like that.
So NC State evens things up. Herman with some speed, closed off there by Gleason. Pardon me, I did actually just misspeak. The shot totals are actually flipped. North Carolina with 12 shots this period. NC State with that last one with 3 now. But they've got the goal, and that's really the most important stat. North Carolina looking for a response, though, with that top line out there. O'Shaughnessy looking to the middle. His pass stolen away by Cade Cox, and here comes NC State. Herman on the near right wing. He carries it into the zone. Finds Brenner, can't quite corral it, and it's swallowed up by Joel Hughes for another face-off. But big, big goal for NC State.
We were just mentioning it's a defensive stronghold. Both goalies were playing very well, but a play like that can always happen, and it did. And we saw that a couple weeks ago where we saw a goal a little, I don't want to say fluky, but we saw a goal very similar. It was just a bad mistake by the goaltender and allowed the Ice Pack to tie the game.
They win the draw. Quick shot from Robinson. Went up over the net. NC State will have to retreat as it makes its way out of the zone. Robinson deflects it in from the other side of the red line to avoid icing, but first one there is Philip Bailey anyhow. You can see just a rejuvenated Ice Pack team right now after evening things up. This Tar Heel team ain't going away either, though. They'll move it in. Foster dispossessed. Sent up the wall by Labrizzi. NC State able to clear the zone. Zayich now for North Carolina. D2D with Curley, pass to the middle, stolen away. Here's Govea, has a man in front, and Bailey, pass doesn't connect, and now Govea hit up high, and we're going to get a penalty here on North Carolina, and rightfully so. That was, I think it was a little bit quick, but yeah, you got to be careful with that kind of hit, and it was definitely up high. And you can see NC State not happy about it.
No, not at all. I believe they should be a little mad at it. That's going to be on Florian Sejic. He's going to get the call there. It's something you can't do. You cannot hit the head. You cannot hit the upper neck or head area. Protect the players. They already have the cages of the face masks on. The referees are discussing it right now. They're discussing the type of penalties or the length of it.
That's exactly what I think it is. They're trying to decide whether this warrants a 10-minute. I'm not sure it goes to that length. As we saw, Govea didn't actually lose his footing. He stayed on his feet. Can't deny it's a dangerous hit up high, but they are. I think with the primary point of contact being the head, they pointed to the locker room, I believe. Yeah, and there's the backup goaltender, Lucas Brown, is telling Zayich that's going to be it.
Just could not hit people up in the head. Yeah, he gets the referee's done for the night. In this case, he's confused about it, but you can never hit someone in the head or neck area. It's to protect the players. The refs made the right call. They enforced it. They did everything they can. And that's going to be it.
The other thing I think you have to take into account here is if this were at the next level, at the professional level in the NHL, you'd have the ability to go upstairs, take a look at the replay, and determine it better. And if they were able to do that, they might keep Zayich in the game. But when you don't have replay, you're erring on the side of caution. And so Zayich will head to the locker room, and this becomes a huge power play for NC State. It's a 5-minute major for the head contact, which means NC State will be on the power play for 5 minutes regardless. So 52, about 53 seconds here in the second period, and then another 4+ minutes in the third, a chance to open up the scoring and take the lead back. They haven't had it since early in this game. Looking for a quick one. Shot got caught up in traffic from Herman. Puck loose in the far corner. Emery Oliver the first to it. 40 seconds left in the period. Cox, D2D for Robinson. He'll look things over on the near side. Down to about 30 seconds left now. Cross-ice pass didn't get through. North Carolina unable to clear, though. Again, it's Robinson. Up to the blue line for Cox with 25 seconds to go. Down into the far corner. Herman circles with it. A little bit of pressure. He goes back to the blue line. Cox sends it back. One-timer coming through. Caught up in front of the net. Still loose there in the slot. And NC State unable to get a shot away. They're still in the zone, though, trying to hold it. And they will. Good effort there from Robinson. Bouncing puck finally cleared with 4 seconds to go, and that will take us to the second intermission. But it was mostly North Carolina carrying play in the period. They outshoot NC State 12-3, but Nick, it's the Ice Pack tying it up.
Yeah, and I think for the Tar Heels, at the end of the period, you want to be up 2-1. Even with the hit, the goal from center ice is going to make it 2-2. And it's one of those periods you go back to the locker room. Like, what happened? You think to yourselves, how are we tied up now? We outplayed them for 16 minutes that entire period. We let up the last 4, and now we're tied up, and now we have a player out for the game. And when we come out for the third period, we have to kill off 4 minutes and 8 seconds. And remember, since it was a game misconduct, Chris, the Ice Pack score a goal. Penalty's still there. Ice Pack can keep scoring and scoring, and we saw from the first 42 seconds of that, 52 seconds, NC State is coming out firing. They are rejuvenated. They want this one.
It'll be a very important 4 minutes and 8 seconds to start the third period. It'll be a power play for NC State. Tie game after 2 periods between NC State and North Carolina.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library,
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Well, we've got ourselves a hockey game after 40 minutes. NC State, North Carolina, tied up at 2. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you on PackTV. And Nick, it was quite a period. NC State back on their heels a little bit, outshot pretty badly. But all that matters is you put one in the back of the net, and it doesn't always have to be pretty.
No, it doesn't. Good things happen when you put the puck on net. I always love to say that, and that's what happened here. Even if it was just a dump in to get a line change, it still worked out for the Ice Pack. And for a team that kind of got outplayed a good bit of that period and a good bit of this game, to be going into the third tied 2-2 is really good. And now you throw in a penalty in there, a major penalty. Things are looking very good for the Ice Pack.
Oh, and that goal from Cade Cox is the perfect example of why you just put the puck on net. And on top of the fact that you get the goal and even it up, NC State has very clearly had the advantage since that goal was scored. They've had the jump, they've had the pressure on the offensive end, and of course,
You get the penalty. It's a major as well, so a big power play coming up for NC State. They had 52 seconds of the major in the second period, so 4:08 going into the third, and as we talked about, they can score as much as they want.
Yeah, they can, and I want to go back to that penalty that Zajic took. We talked about it during the break, and the referees were talking in the UNC bench before. They were saying he hit him in the chest, but if you go to the head or neck area, the referees did what they had to do. They enforced the rule. Head or neck area, you are gone. They do have no tolerance for it, and that's what we were discussing as well. So that is why Zajic is out of the game with that hit. It didn't look like it was much, but because of where he landed it, that's why he's no longer in the game.
So a crucial loss there on top of a penalty for North Carolina. We're going to step aside. We'll be right back. NC State, North Carolina, tied at 2.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library, Don Diablo.
Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Oh, stupid controller froze again.
Spending less money, so...
if you guys want any... OMG, it's McGruff!
Yes, I am.
He's not my Uncle McGruff the crime dog! He's a fake!
Oh! I am McGruff the crime dog. He is the fake, and so is that controller you're holding. It's gonna break. Let's take a bite out of crime together.
Who says you're not the fake?
Dude, you're literally missing it.
You are smart, kids. You're smart. Buy smart.
Back here in Invisalign Arena, Nick Perazzi here with NC State Ice Pack goaltending coach Alex Rossetto. Really interesting period we saw there with the goal from center ice, and just want to know, you get a goal like that, what are kind of the vibes going in, especially that since it tied the goal?
You know, that's a good question. I mean, you know, something like that, we'll take the energy, right? Because it's a game changer, right? So, you know, just a little mistake, you can swing the energy, and to be honest, we really needed it, right? The bench was down a little bit, we haven't been getting the calls, and you know, that little bit helped us out. So hopefully, you know, when we come out here in the third, it'll give us that little bit of a jump, that extra little step.
And we could see after that goal, especially with the game misconduct penalty, we saw the energy was bouncing off the walls in the first 42 seconds of that power play. Going into the third, we hear the music bumping right now next door, getting that energy. We've seen a couple penalties tonight. Is there a way to kind of control that energy so it doesn't spill over into another penalty?
Yeah, you know, and I mean, you got to be disciplined, right? You got to go out there and play your game, be disciplined, not talk to the refs, right? You know, seems like these guys got a little thin skin tonight, so just make sure that we, you know, hold our tongue, play our game, and just do the best we can, right?
All right, and one last question for you, Alex. Just wanted, since you are the goaltending coach, did want to know, Addison Lawrence and Nets played a fantastic job tonight. Bouncing back from those 2 early goals, what are some things that you could tell him that's kind of led him to be really rock solid and make 2 really good saves in a row?
Yeah, so honestly, with Addison, I don't tell him much, right? He's a great goalie. He's very athletic. He's got tremendous puck fight, you know, something we haven't seen, you know, for, you know, he's just a great goalie all around. I mean, like that back paddle save he made, it's just, you know, he doesn't want to let any puck beat him at all. So, yeah, it's great to have someone like that between the pipes.
All right, well, thank you for joining me. We'll be right back from Invisalign Arena right after this.
Today I spoke with Elliot Umbarger, treasurer of the Rowing Club, and he discusses what it's like having a leadership role on campus and how students can get involved.
While being a member of the team for the past 3 years, it is Embargo's first year holding a leadership position.
Coming back in the spring, I decided that I wanted to go for a leadership position in the coming year. So I came in this year, I applied for president, did not get president, so I eventually became the treasurer.
A big part of his role involves working with the finances for the club.
Getting involved with the process of how raising money for the club and seeing the distribution of money for the club has played out.
Embargo is in charge of collecting the money that it takes to run a club as big as this.
So there are meetings that, as the treasurer, I have to attend that are done by the school in order to make sure that we are able to get some funding from the school. Beyond that, it involves making sure that people have paid their dues, which is just so much as sending out an email or when I see them at practice, reminding them, pay your dues, or setting up a payment plan with them.
He says the hardest part of his leadership role is collecting the dues from his fellow teammates.
Having to go out of your way to poke someone and ask them to pay you is kind of awkward sometimes, especially when you're friends with people on the team. It's kind of uncomfortable to be like, hey man, you have the money to pay for the team right now.
He believes leadership on campus is important as a student in building responsibility and other important career skills.
When you are charged with running something, and whether it's running the whole club as the president or managing the finances, that is very crucial to the club. So it teaches you responsibility and to be on your game about what you're doing.
And when it comes to what it takes to have a leadership role on campus,
that is a matter of time management, and you need to have a good idea of where you sit already. If you think that you have the time to take something on, go for it. Don't be nervous if you don't have any prior experience with it. I'd never been a treasurer for something before. This is my first experience with it. People will help you. There are people who can help you. You just have to ask.
Until next time, your leader of the Pack reporter, Ashley Van Haver, as always, go Pack.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library, Don Diablo.
Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Got about 6 minutes left until NC State and UNC head back out onto the ice for the third and final period. They're locked at 2 goals apiece right now. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you at Invisalign Arena. And Nick, let's take a look at the North Carolina side now, because we talked about in the first period, NC State seemed to carry a decent amount of the play, not quite as much as North Carolina did in that second, but they did seem to carry a little bit more of the play and had some better chances that they just didn't capitalize on. Script was flipped a little bit in that second period. North Carolina was getting the really good chances, getting the shots. They couldn't find the back of the net.
Yeah, and I think a big problem that was Addison Lawrence. We saw the 2 back-to-back saves he made, including the one where he kind of looked like he was out of the Matrix with his stick save a little bit. So a little bit of goaltending luck for NC State, and it's causing UNC a lot of sorts and fits, which they saw against Kentucky this past weekend, which is something that happened to the ice pack, you know, and starts to get frustrating. And we see penalties get taken like we saw this period. It starts to boil over, and that's something as a team you've got to address and say, hey, we're going to get frustrated. Let's control our emotions, though. Let's go out there and play our third period like we have been, because they're getting really good shots on goal still.
Yeah, and you can see it. This game has kind of been building. You hear the phrase sometimes, build a game, and I feel like that's what NC State has kind of been doing. They haven't looked their best all the time, but you can see it slowly getting better, and especially now that they're getting probably what will be their best chance of the game with 4+ minutes of time on a power play to put their mark on this game and to put this game away potentially, depending on how successful the power play is. So if you're NC State, it is imperative that you come out with that same energy and match it, as you were talking about with Coach Alex Rossetto.
Yeah, and you mentioned that the goal gave them that big jolt of energy they needed. You could tell out there NC State was kind of just lagging behind in the energy department. And going out third period, I've got to be firing on all cylinders. You've got a time limit of this 5-on-4 hockey. You can score as much as you can and keep it 5-on-4 until the power play will end. So you just got to get out there, fly to the puck, make every play that you can, take a bunch of shots on goal, and just wear down UNC. Because even if you don't score, if you're able to wear them down, wear down those defensive men, it's going to open the gate up for more opportunities later on in this game.
The other thing, when you talk about getting shots to the net, look at that second goal they scored. Cade Cox from the red line throws the puck at the net, squeaks through between that, I believe that was the glove side of Joel Hughes, between that glove side arm and his body, and got into the net. So maybe some confidence issues there for Hughes after he gives up a soft one too.
Yeah, and he also had the issue before. He almost gave up a goal with his stick handling issues. So you're right. I think there is a bit of a confidence issue and maybe just a little bit of out of sorts. I've noticed whenever he is controlling the puck, though, if NC State kind of brings a little pressure to him, he doesn't make the right pass, he doesn't make the right read. And it could cost him sometimes, and nearly cost him before. And as the game goes on, if NC State's able to recognize that and build off of that, that can cause some big troubles for the UNC goaltender.
And I think one other thing to hit on is the NC State defense. They have looked very good, particularly in transition. We talked a lot about that top line of O'Shaughnessy, Kozowski, and Gilligan. They've looked dangerous, but NC State, particularly defensively, have done a good job of containing them for the most part.
Yeah, they definitely had. O'Shaughnessy had a couple of great shots, though, on that power play to start it off. A lot of good chances from that first line and a quick stand, but other than that, it's really been hit or miss with that first line for UNC tonight. But the big emphasis that first line has, though, is they're winning a ton of faceoffs. So Shaughnessy, I don't think he's lost a faceoff tonight, it seems like. Won 3 in a row in the power play. They go with the line change. They win a 4th in a row. So I think going into this period, NC State's got to be a little better on the power play, the faceoff department, or else that can cause some trouble.
Yeah, well, we can hear them getting ready to head back down to the ice for the third and final period. It's going to be a good one, so don't go anywhere. NC State and UNC, third period, next.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. The lessons learned here don't end with graduation. A great university goes far beyond campus. It allows you to see the big picture. A great university gives you tools, community, partnership, a launch pad. You don't just go to NC State University. You take us with you. We talk forever about the future. Worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go, from ocean depths to the far side of the moon.
It's 3 on 3 for 5 minutes, same as the NHL.
At NC State University, the future is a thing you make, with bright ideas,
And then after 5 minutes, you go to a shootout.
and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
NC State and UNC set to go for the third and final period. 2-2 the score, but Nick, NC State with a 4-minute and 8-second man advantage. As we talked about, it's a major, so that will stay there regardless of how many times they score.
Yeah, and I think if you're UNC, you got to come into this period knowing that you just cannot allow NC State to score. You got to do whatever you can. You've got to get out there. You've got to give it all you've got. But the problem with UNC is that they've got to play another 17 minutes of hockey once this is all said and done. And in a tie game, that is something that you are not going to be very excited about.
It'll be Herman, Bailey, Oliver, Robinson, and Cade Cox out there for NC State. North Carolina immediately wins the faceoff and sends it down the ice. Ice Pack will move it back out. Herman. Crosses the blue line into the zone. Looking to the middle. That pass knocked down and cleared out by Gleason all the way down. And about 25 seconds into this period, NC State has to regroup again. They haven't really been able to set up on the power play yet this period. They did get a couple of chances at the end of the second. Bailey looking across, has Robinson. High slot shot just over the crossbar. Bounced back out in front. Nobody gets a stick to it. Cade Cox now throws it there. Deflected in. Another goal for Zach Robinson. And NC State takes the lead 44 seconds into the third.
Oh, what a pretty play. Robinson takes a shot initially. It goes high. Squirts back out into the point. And Cade Cox just kind of sends it in. I don't even think he expected Zach Robinson to shoot it. He just kind of shovels it along. It catches Joel Hughes off guard. And the Ice Pack have a 3-2 lead. And like we mentioned before, there's still 3:24 on the power play. That is not a good start for UNC, despite the fact they killed the first 30 seconds very well.
This is where NC State can really put the hurting on North Carolina. If you can pot another one, even a one after that, if you could extend this lead to 2 or 3, you'll have a huge advantage for the remainder of the game. Robinson, cross ice for Herman with speed. He'll break into the zone. Down behind the net, hauled down. Whistles will stay down, though, for the officials. NC State not going to get the benefit of the doubt on the power play. Now a shorthanded chance for Foster. He'll come in all alone and score. Oh, he was a shorthanded specialist last year. There's a big one. And just like that, we're tied back up at 3. If you're NC State, you cannot take that breath. And North Carolina makes them pay.
Just like the first score UNC scored, they're going to do it again. Answer right back. They are going to get a great shorthanded opportunity, 2-on-0 break. NC State caught a little off guard, and it was basically a repeat of UNC's first goal. NC State gets the goal, they lose the face-off. UNC marches right down the ice. This time they had a very good 2-on-0 rush, and we're tied at 3. A very eventful start to the third period.
Yeah, and if you're doing the math, NC State trying to regain the lead quickly. Pass from Shook is through the skates of Kaufman. Thronson collects. NC State will set up the power play again. Now James throws it on goal. Blocker down by Hughes. Kaufman trying to sweep it around and stuff it in the other side. That's denied. NC State will hold the zone. Nick Shook has it in his skates over on that far side. Walsh trying to clear it out and does. Maybe another shorthanded chance here for North Carolina. Walsh in. Back into the middle looking for Mahan. And a nice back check from Holden Kaufman to break that up. Now NC State has numbers moving forward. It's Govea down that right wing. Sweeps one wide of the net. Coming off the wall, Thronson picks it up and sends it back in. Nick Curley there for North Carolina. He can't clear. Govea back down low. Thronson once again. Back for Joey Govea. Up top, James. Skate to stick. Looking it over. Has Shook over on the top of the far circle. He'll take a shot. Big pad save by Hughes. Rebound there for Kaufman. And it'll be held onto this time by Hughes. But if you look at it, NC State held the lead for 6 seconds after taking the 1-0 lead. Then after taking the 3-2 lead, just a 27-second lead. So you're talking about 33 seconds total between those two separate leads for NC State. So not a lot of time. Give some credit there to North Carolina for being able to answer quickly when down. But if you're NC State, after you score that go-ahead goal, you got to be on your guard. Still plenty of time, though. 1:47 left on the man advantage here on the major penalty to Florian Zajic. But NC State going to turn it over again, and this time Cobber going to take his time moving up the ice. Floats a pass into the middle, trying to create another shorthanded chance, but NC State steals it away. Here comes Zach Robinson. Dropped off for Bailey. Looking down low. It's thrown off the side of the net by Oliver. Loose in the far corner. First one there is Philip Bailey. He's dispossessed. North Carolina able to move back out. 1:17 left, and you can see Glonick just trying to kill some clock here before they clear it down the ice. Now Gleason sends it the length of the rink. Stopped behind the net by Addison Lawrence. 16:56 left in the game. 1 minute left on the power play for NC State. They took the lead early, but they gave it right back on a shorthanded marker from Henry Foster. Philip Bailey has some speed through the neutral zone. Foster, who scored that shorthanded goal, forces another turnover. He's going to go after another. Drags past Cock in front, and he's knocked down. Play will continue as Cade Cox comes away with a loose puck. But Henry Foster, incredibly dangerous shorthanded. Cox sends it deep. Back behind Joel Hughes. First one there is Glonick. Puck squirts loose to the near side. Foster has it. He'll send it all the way down. And that's going to kill off most of the rest of this man advantage. For NC State, you got the goal you're looking for, but they gave one up on the power play. So we're still tied here at Invisalign Arena. Thronson on the near wall. Walks it down. Sent to the middle in the skates of Kaufman. And one final clear will finish off this penalty for North Carolina.
Ever since NC State scored that power play goal.
Another chance in front. Blocker down by Lawrence, scrambling around in front. North Carolina can't put it on goal, though. They're going to go right on the attack after killing off that major. Now Alex James trying to force it up that far wall. Squirts loose to the middle. Pass moved forward by Nick Shook is intercepted. Here's Patrick O'Shaughnessy, but looks like Gilligan was in offsides first. And the faceoff comes back out into neutral ice.
Well, I was going to say before UNC had another opportunity right in front of the net, once NC State scored that goal, it seemed like it was 5-on-5 hockey for a good bit because the way UNC played it. They did a fantastic job on the kill. They had a couple of shorthanded opportunities, and because of that, it's 3-3, and NC State comes out of it tied instead of in front like they wanted to be.
And the momentum shifts back as well to North Carolina. NC State trying to break out. Brenner to the middle for Zach Herman with some speed around Cobber. He'll chip it deep and go after it. Nick Curley the first there for the Tar Heels. Leaves it up for Miglior. Tar Heels break it back out smoothly through the neutral zone. Daniel Cobber floats one over the net. Lawrence lets it go. Coming up the wall, Miglior stuffs it back in. Now it's McConaughey for NC State. Rink wide, can't connect with Cox, and North Carolina needs a change, so they'll send it deep. But good work from Cobber on the forecheck. Steals it away. NC State caught flat-footed in their own end, and they struggle again to break it out. Now Gleason at his own blue line for the Tar Heels. Fans on a pass. Bresingham steals it. Waits for his teammate Brenner to check up, then goes after it and sends it in. Into the near corner they chase. First one to it is North Carolina's Glonick. Up the wall, chip to the center for Vaglia. That's stolen away by Cox. Now Bresingham brings it into the zone. Down the right wing, looking to the middle. That pass denied by Gleason. Bresingham pinned in that far corner. Doig over to help out Gleason. Daniel over to help out Bresingham. It'll be a 2v2 scrum along the wall. Carolina forces it up that far side. Vaglia trying to turn Cameron Lohr inside out. Ends up losing control. Now NC State can go back the other way. Gleason trying to bring down Bresingham, strong on his feet, maintains control. Looking back to the blue line. Fan on the pass again, though, and here's a chance for Mangle moving forward, going one-on-one against Cowan. He'll cut across the ice, trying to get back to the middle. He'll be forced back behind, and a nice defensive effort there by Cowan to force him into the wall. But a good effort by Mangle, who continues to work. Cowan now in control for NC State. And this is looking a lot more like that second period did, where North Carolina, Nick, just suffocated NC State in their own end. And now we're going to get a penalty on Scott Daniel. Very ill-advised hit there from the Ice Pack player. And he's going to head to the box after putting Mangle into the boards from behind.
And that's one of those penalties Coach Tim Healy of the Ice Pack was stressing that they cannot take. And it's just a silly penalty. There's no need to take it. Just go in there. You don't even have to hit him. Just make sure you've got a man on him. Because since the puck is being scrummed over, there was just a really, I really hate to say it, but I think that's just a really stupid penalty there by Scott Daniel.
Yeah, that's when I think he wants to throw a hit. He wants to do something and just pick the wrong time to do it. So an important penalty kill for NC State. They win the draw. Clearance is off the skate of Curley, who got tangled up there with Brenner. Could have had a hooking call, but play will continue. Herman with it for NC State. Shorthanded chance. Labrizzi in front, takes the shot. It's pinned under the pads of Hughes. Still loose, and the whistle will go as the official lost sight of the puck. And an offensive zone faceoff for NC State. Nick created their own shorthanded chance there.
They did. How about NC State saying, hey, we can do the shorthanded stuff too. And a big break there for UNC. Hughes just had it underneath his, I think his foot, bottom of the skate. Referee lost it. The bottom of his pads are that dark blue black, so maybe that's how he lost it, but he never had control of that.
Here's a chance. Quick shot off the faceoff for NC State's for Brenner. who will continue to possess behind the net. Takes a couple of Tar Heels to take it away. O'Shaughnessy trying to break out with speed. Cross ice, he finds Kozowski, who takes it off the skate. Dropped off for Gilligan. Down low, Kozowski out in front. They can't get the shot away, and Brenner clears it the length of the ice. Good chance there for North Carolina. Down to 1:15 left on the man advantage. Tar Heels back up the ice. Down that left wing, it's O'Shaughnessy with speed behind the net. Pushes it into that near corner. Drop back off. Foster. He'll play catch there with Kozowski. Cross ice, quick shot coming, bounces through the crease. And NC State dodges a bullet. One-timer coming from Foster. That one rises up over the goal. This time McConaughey able to clear it down for the Ice Pack. They still have 45 seconds to kill on this penalty. And you can tell by the energy in the building. It's a little bit of a nervous time here for NC State trying to kill it off. But a turnover might give them a shorthanded chance. McConaughey stripped of the puck, though, by Foster, who loses it at his own blue line. It's McConaughey again. He'll chip it into that far corner. Decides to make the conservative play and send it behind the net to kill some more time. But now Kozowski has some speed. Walking through the NC State penalty kill, takes a shot in the slot. And it's right into the breadbasket of Addison Lawrence, who will hold on for another draw. But, Nick, NC State almost through this penalty kill.
Yeah, and they are. And I think as the game goes on, we're kind of seeing the referees let the teams play a little bit. There were a couple times in the other rim, we saw a couple bodies going down. And in my opinion, I believe there should have been a couple penalties called. And that's what Coach Alex Rosetta was saying during the intermission report. Referees are a little thin-skinned tonight. They're not giving all of the calls, being a little inconsistent. And so far, I think we could have saw a couple penalties on both teams.
So NC State clears it off the draw. That will finish off the power play for North Carolina. They'll continue to work on the attack, though. Quick shot coming from Matt Grady. Didn't get to the net. North Carolina continue with the pressure, though. Loose in the slot. Shot coming from Grady again. He missed an open net wide. Q and Doig on the puck for the Tar Heels. 2 Ice Pack there. It's Govea and Robinson who knocked the puck loose, but they can't clear the zone. Now Cowan for NC State. Moves it up that far wall again. This time Robinson out into neutral ice. Cross ice finds Govea. Quick shot coming. Shouldered down by Joel Hughes and into the near corner. NC State still in control in the offensive end. James over to the far wall. Slapper from Govea. Deflected high and wide. And NC State will have to retreat as Cowan couldn't hold the blue line. Glonick looking cross ice. Skips over the stick of his intended target there in Grady. And NC State can reverse play again. Robinson weaving through the neutral zone. Breaks into the offensive end and sends it into the far corner for Govea to track down. He'll pitchfork it behind the net. Only Tar Heels back there, they'll break it out. Cobber finds Mahan on the far side. Streaking in. Hard shot from the far side. Will be gloved down and controlled by Lawrence once again. Well, we're hitting that halfway point of the third period now. Both teams with a goal. And it seems like after that initial kind of frenzy from the power play, things are settling down a bit.
Yeah, they definitely are, but we're also seeing the defensive play ramp up again. How about the play that Walsh made as NC State was getting across, and now we're switching face-off circles here for the next face-off. But we see shots on goal, 23 for UNC, 17 for the Ice Pack. I think you're going to see that ramp up the final 10.
NC State behind their own net after the face-off. Good forecheck from North Carolina. Knocks it loose. Chance in the low slot, and they can't get a shot away. Nick Shook looking to clear the zone. Whiffs on the clearance a little bit, though. North Carolina holds the offensive end for now. Labrizzi has some space to move up the middle, looking for Herman. Overshot him, but Nick Shook is going to be the first one there to cancel out the icing. He finds Herman back to the middle. Kaufman with the shot, and it hit the pipe. It looked like NC State inches away from taking the lead again. Pressure in that near corner now. Kaufman knocked off the puck. Cobber able to break it out. Ooh, North Carolina almost got caught at an early change there with too many men. They'll send it down the ice. Icing waved off. Looked like it deflected off somebody, so play continues with 9:15 to go. McConaughey, rink wide, taken off the wall by Herman. He'll look back across. Kaufman now has space, gaining the blue line. He'll take the shot, and Hughes watches it into the glove. We'll get a face-off here in the UNC end.
Kind of seeing a trading game going on. UNC on one end will get a good shot or two on a good little rush. But then the other way, NC State, like we just saw, great rush of their own. they get a good chance, get another shot on goal. So we're kind of seeing a good back-and-forth hockey game starting to develop right now.
Gouveia off the draw with a quick shot. Hughes will squeeze it. And another face-off right here in front of the UNC net. That was a nifty little move there from Gouveia to win the draw forward.
It was, and then get that shot off. He tried to elevate it over the shoulder, and we see that a couple times today. And credit to both goalies for staying strong, not giving any empty space on the upper shoulder, because that is sometimes how you'll get a goal like that. You're like, how did that go in? Well, he elevated it over the shoulder because he left a little window above top.
Gouveia wins the draw to the near wall for Bailey. He'll cycle with it behind the net. Sends it off the wall, bouncing puck. Well handled by the skate of McConaughey. He'll do it again to hold the blue line. This time, though, they're going to call it out.
Not too sure about that call. That did not leave the blue line.
The linesman was a little bit off the line, which is kind of where he needed to be in that instance. But from where I was, right on the blue line, it looked like he did a good job of holding it. NC State, though, back out into neutral ice for this faceoff. Gouveia for the ice pack up against O'Shaughnessy. And NC State able to win it and send it deep. Curley behind the Carolina net for Miglior. And we're going to see a little bit more of Miglior with Zajic out after the major penalty. Shot from just inside the blue line. Gouveia hits a stick and sends it out of play.
That went into the roof, actually. Playing up top, but yeah, I talked about the refs just a little bit earlier, and Rossetto voiced his displeasure. I mean, there were a couple calls in this game on both teams. Don't want to harp and say one team's getting all the calls and one team's not, but like I mentioned before, we're kind of seeing a bit of an inconsistency from these refs in terms of who's getting a penalty and what's not a penalty.
Quick shot off the post. Good chance there for McConaughey. Hughes never saw it, and now North Carolina can break it out. Kozowski down the right wing. He'll be forced into the wall nicely by Cox. He's able to absorb that hit and send it to the middle, where Lawrence will cover it up. But great chance there for NC State through traffic with that shot from Cade McConaughey, and just about took that lead back.
Yeah, they did, and then the other end, Kozowski has been a real problem today for NC State. He's been everywhere. He doesn't have a goal to his name right now. He has a penalty only, but keep an eye on him on that first line.
North Carolina wins the faceoff. Quick shot from Gleason, steered away by the pad of Addison Lawrence. Tar Heels continue with the forecheck. Pass out into the high slot, disrupted nicely by McEnany. UNC still in the offensive zone. The shot gets through traffic. In the right position, Lawrence makes the save. NC State in control, trying to break out again, dispossessed. Pass out to the middle, stolen once more. And now McEnany sends it all the way down. Was trying to connect with Brenner, but it'll be icing. And NC State's got to keep some tired bodies on the ice here. This has been one of the best sequences so far, I think, for North Carolina.
It definitely has. They're getting bodies out in front of the net as well. They're looking to create some new chances on some shots. And, I mean, they've won most of the faceoffs in the offensive end. If they get another one here, they're going to be firing away.
Another win on the offensive zone draw for Henry Foster of North Carolina. They sent it into the corner, did the Tar Heels, trying to create something from there. Bouncing puck in the high slot, can't be corralled. Now NC State able to bring it down, and it's Aiden Brenner forward. They'll slow up on that far wall. Stops around the hashes, hands off for McEnany, trying to step to the middle. That's poked loose. NC State's Cade Cox holds the near blue line. Down low for Oliver, circles top of the near face-off circle and throws it right into the ear of Joel Hughes. Kind of has to shake that one off a little bit.
Yeah, and I want to go back to that entrance of the offensive zone for NC State. It didn't look like that play was onside, but the one before was offsides. I think that one was actually offsides. It looked like NC State got a little too early jumping in. They get a good shot, though, off of it. Maybe a little bit of a makeup call there, if you will.
NC State wins the offensive zone draws. Herman won it back to Shook. He had trouble with a puck that hopped on him. And North Carolina will send it all the way down. Mahan tracks it down first behind the NC State goal. Battling there with Alex James, who takes it away for the ice pack. Moved up to Holden Kaufman now, who gains the blue line. Across for Noah Scherf. He'll look to throw one on goal from the top of the far circle. That's blocked by Edwards. North Carolina comes away with it as Leighton Walsh sends it all the way around and up the near side. Now Cobber there for the Tar Heels. Pokes it around James. He's got control. As he loses footing down in the near corner, you see it up close. Drop back to Kendrick Holmes. Shot from the point, and it's deflected in. I'm not sure who it hit last, but it ends up behind Lawrence and in the net. And the Tar Heels, with back-to-back goals, have taken back the lead.
I think this one's going to go to Leighton Walsh. Simple point shot, put the puck on net. Or actually,
I think that's good eyes. It deflected off of Leighton Walsh, I believe. It was either Walsh or the defenseman there for NC State.
Yeah, Kendrick Holmes is celebrating like he did. He was first back to the bench. Not going to be too sure who scored that goal, but good things happen when you throw the puck on the net. We saw NC State from center ice get a goal like that, and how about UNC just kind of throw it in on with bodies in front, and that's why you get bodies in front for deflections like that.
Well, now NC State has 6.5 minutes to answer the goal from North Carolina. Tar Heels back in possession. Migler behind the net for Curley. And Curley just wasting time, looking for the right pass out of the zone. Smart not to just force it. Now North Carolina airmails it out of play. Not exactly sure what the thought process was there from Kewendoig. But he airmailed it over his own bench and out of play. It'll be an offensive zone face-off. Now, worth noting, we talked about how the overtime rules earlier are the same as the NHL. Now, the delay of game penalty is not the same as the NHL, so you don't get the delay of game, even though that one in the National Hockey League, you would have seen a penalty. So, offensive zone draw for NC State, they control. Govea forced off the puck in that far corner. Tar Heels now will look to break it out. Swept out of the zone. Labrizzi has some trouble handling it. Kozowski picks up the loose puck. He'll skate in, fires one right into the crest of the jersey on Addison Lawrence. He'll cover it up for another face-off. But Lawrence, he's played a pretty good game. Some tough luck in there, especially when you look at that last one there.
Yeah, just a bouncing puck, and bouncing pucks can do weird things, and that's exactly what happened, and bounced into the net. Can't really put that one on him too much, but 4 by him so far. UNC's got the lead.
NC State advances right off the face-off. Quick slapper from Philip Bailey, whistles wide. NC State still in possession. Bailey again elevates one to the middle, swatted out of the danger area by the North Carolina defense. Labrizzi up top takes a shot that's blocked, and Carolina clears it once again. This one is going to be called icing, and I think North Carolina's bench, rightfully so, is a little bit upset about that. Thronson does a nice job of stretching out that pursuit of the puck just long enough to get the icing call.
Yeah, Leighton Walsh was giving an earful to the referees on the bench right now. He gave a little bit up on skating back to get that puck, which caused UNC to be up in the uproar, but to get the offense's own win.
Quick shot, they score! Cade McConaughey off the draw. We're tied at 4.
We've been mentioning it all throughout the day. NC State has not won many face-offs, and then they finally get it.
Fallen behind, but it's a great pushback for NC State. It reminds me a little bit.
Westingham was in a very nice game in his first game back.
Zach Herman to take the draw for NC State. Up against Peltola of North Carolina. Herman wins it. Nick Shook looking to send it deep. Jack Gleason has other ideas. He'll send it out, and now McConaughey, unaware of Herman still in the zone, crosses off sides, and we'll get a quick stoppage.
I mentioned it before in the first period. I think it's really an emphasis point right now. If you make a mistake, that's going to give the other team a bunch of momentum, and late in the third period, that can be critical.
North Carolina wins the draw. Gleason slaps it around the wall behind his net and all the way out where NC State can recollect. Cox, DDD with McConaughey. Advance now for Herman. Feathers one to the middle, intended for Kaufman. He'll chase it down in the near corner, though. And he's quickly dispossessed. Henry Foster breaking it out. Through the middle, he finds Peltola. He'll split the D in on a breakaway, and a big save made by Addison Lawrence. Under 5 to go. That would have been a big one. But we're stay tied at 4 apiece. NC State looking to throw their own punch. Herman twisted up and taken down. Play will carry on. Now it's Jack Gleason in control, trying to backhand it out. Knocked down by Kaufman, but he'll have trouble controlling it. And North Carolina gets it to neutral ice. Loose puck picked up by Leighton Walsh. He'll go 1-on-2 against the NC State defense. Decides to hold up for some help. And now Cobber is dispossessed. North Carolina has to check up on the delayed offsides. Emery Oliver receives the stretch pass from Labrizzi. Looking to the middle, he finds Brenner. Couldn't hold on to it, though. Klonick sends it up the wall for the Tar Heels. Pops the stick of Mahan. NC State will work back into the zone. McEnany in the middle. High slot shot coming. Big pad save from Hughes. Loose in front, and it'll be knocked back behind the net as they'll scrum for it there.
Crowd not happy. They thought that was a penalty right there against UNC. Sorry there, Chris.
Emery Oliver with a nice hit to jar the puck loose. North Carolina needs a change, so they'll dump it in and do so. Under 4 minutes to go. Tied at 4. It's been a heck of a hockey game here tonight, folks. And we're not done yet. Big block on the clearance by Govea. NC State into the offensive zone. Joey Govea goes back to the blue line for Labrisi. Back to Govea. He's got Bailey in the middle and finds him high slot. Crosses over to the Forest faceoff dot, and his shot is deflected out of play.
Final 3:25. Yeah, deep breaths are needed. Final 3:25. What a sequence we had. Addison Lawrence in the 11th hour makes a beautiful, fantastic save off the edge of his glove. And then on the other end, NC State had a couple of great chances. I think Aiden Brenner should have gave up the shot that he took, because if he looked left, I can't remember who it was, but it was a wide open shot for NC State.
NC State looking to set up in the offensive zone after winning the draw. Bailey near corner. Looking high slot for Govea. That's stolen away. Chance to counter for North Carolina. Gilligan finds the loose puck. Disrupted, though, by Cade Cox. He has to chase it down on the far corner. Some help from Govea. NC State has control. Breakout pass, though, deflected right back at Addison Lawrence. And he's going to cover it up, doing the safe thing. And we'll have another draw on the NC State end.
A little bit surprised UNC's going with a line change here. They just had their first line out, and they're taking them out with an offensive zone face-off, with O'Shaughnessy winning a majority, if not all, of the face-off he's done today. Bit of an interesting call there.
NC State wins the defensive zone draw. They'll move it out. Shook trying to touch the puck around Curley, unable to do so. Herman, though, picks up the loose puck at the red line and sends it in. Miglior across for his defensive partner, Curley, who returns it. Now Miglior up the wall. Grady deflects it in. Foster there to help out on the forecheck. Can't push it further along. Now Miglior knocks down the clearance at the red line. Both teams having a little bit of trouble just settling it down and putting together some passes. As Lawrence sends it over to Cox in the near corner, you'll see the battle up close. Puck forced back around to the other side. Grady there first for the Tar Heels. Back behind the NC State net, Cox has it. Leaves it for Kaufman, lifts it across, off the wall where it can be tracked down by Herman. Miglior bodies him off the puck. Now UNC will look to break it out. Grady, backhand pass, able to find O'Shaughnessy, touching it around Shook. And the first one there is Gilligan looking for O'Shaughnessy. That pass disrupted, but the Tar Heels able to maintain control. Patrick O'Shaughnessy down low for Kozowski. Back up top, Gleason. He'll return it. Shot from Kozowski is blocked, loose in the slot. Kaufman there trying to clear. Knocked it off a teammate, though, and Nick Shook. Under 2 minutes to go here in this third period. We will play 5 minutes of 3-on-3 overtime if we're still tied after the next 90 seconds.
The Heels now have all the momentum coming up in the last 90 seconds. They're going to try one last big push, maybe set something up offensively, and maybe get those first liners out if they get a big face-off.
Tar Heels break it in. Kozowski bodied off the puck in that near corner. Cobber helping out. NC State, though, with numbers. It'll be Emery Oliver collecting the loose puck. Looking up the near side. Beautiful pass to find Aiden Brenner. Trying to step around his defenseman there. And he's forced into the wall nicely by Cam Glonick. Around to Gleason, looking to break it out with Kozowski. His clearance knocked down. Quick shot coming from McConaughey. Easily handled by Hughes. NC State continuing to apply pressure. Cross ice pass! Oh, a big save by Hughes. Emery Oliver with a golden opportunity right in front. And a big save by Hughes with 47 seconds left.
Joel Hughes made the best save of the game right there, I think. Just absolutely stunned. And we're going to have offsetting penalties on both teams. It's going to, on UNC, it's going to be the defenseman Cam Glonick going to the box. And then for NC State, it's going to be Thomas McEnany. And I think they had a little bit of physical activity into the corner. And I guess McEnany responded. It looked like the penalty was going to be called against UNC on Cam Glonick. But McEnany responded. With 47 seconds left, we have 4-on-4.
North Carolina in control, looking to stretch out the ice. That pass stolen away by Cox. NC State quickly back the other way. Gouveia with the shot. It'll be gloved and held by Hughes for another face-off in the North Carolina end.
Well, Nick Curley's going to be thanking Joel Hughes, especially if they win this game right there. He makes a very ill-advised pass right into the middle, right to Cade Cox. And Hughes comes up with a big glove save. 36 seconds left.
Face-off to the far side of Hughes. They'll fight for it off the draw. Philip Bailey has it for NC State. Turning in that far corner, has a man open in Thronson at the blue line. Back to Bailey, top of the far circle. Takes the shot, slid it just wide. Rebound collected by Thronson near side. He'll send it behind the Carolina net with 20 seconds to go, and it's cleared all the way down by North Carolina. This is going to be icing as Cade Cox gets there with 15 seconds left in regulation.
This is a big face-off. If UNC is able to win it and they're able to clear it out, we're going to overtime. If not, their tired bodies have got to go up against this resilient NC State offense.
Herman to take the draw against the North Carolina captain, Henry Foster. We talked about how good O'Shaughnessy has been in the face-off dot. Foster, probably the second best on this Carolina team, and he'll win it forward. 2-on-2 if they move quickly. He's got Peltola with him. Foster, high slot, shot blocked by Thronson. 5 seconds left in regulation. NC State collects, and they're going to skate it out into neutral ice. That will take us to the end of regulation. But Nick, this has been one heck of a hockey game, and we've got some free hockey coming.
Oh, the fact that we get an extra 5 minutes and then potentially a shootout afterwards, the icing on the cake of this game. One heck of a game being played by both teams. 4-4, we've seen it all. We've seen bad penalties, game misconducts. We've seen answer back goals. We've seen power play goals. This game's had everything you want, and in a big rivalry game, State Carolina heels Pack. It's delivered tonight, and the crowd here is in for a big treat for overtime.
Yeah, so for those who may be wondering, overtime will work similarly to NHL regular season overtime. 5 minutes of 3-on-3. Also worth noting, it will be 3-on-3 for the first minute 13, and I believe we will play 4-on-4 until the whistle. After that, once the two players return in Glonick and McEnany. So there will be a brief period of 4-on-4. Mostly, though, they will be playing 3-on-3. If no one is able to score, it will be sudden death. But if no one scores in those 5 minutes, as you mentioned, Nick, it's going to be a shootout. But this game has easily, and kind of as expected, been the most entertaining game we've seen here at Invisalign Arena so far.
Oh, it definitely has. And I just want to outlook. We get a 2-minute break in between the overtime and between the end of the third and overtime. The teams will switch sides, but I think NC State's got to have the juice. They've kind of gotten the benefits of the penalties that UNC had. They had to kill off that 5-minute penalty. They got them a little fatigued out there, but that UNC first line is so quick, and when you go 3-on-3 hockey, that could be the big difference, is who's the best in space and who's the fastest. And that's why I think that UNC first line is going to be a big difference maker.
That's exactly what I was thinking. And you look at NC State, and in terms of depth of talent, probably a little bit more than that North Carolina team. Tar Heels, though, have a very dangerous top end of their offensive unit, and part of it is going to be out there now. Patrick O'Shaughnessy out there with Q and Doig, and Nick Curley for NC State. We're going to have a quick whistle. It looks like the official took a stick up high, or the linesman, I should say, as soon as the puck was dropped. So we are ready to get things going, but it'll take a second here for the official. Looks like I think he just kind of got poked in the eye with a stick. And so he might just need a second here to kind of recollect before he's ready to go. But he looks like he's going to be okay there.
Yeah, luckily I can't see any blood. That was my biggest concern. Get hit high up there, and he does have a visor on his mask. He's looking for the blood right now.
And you got to give some credit to these officials too tonight. They've done as there is every night. There are some calls that you're going to miss and you're not going to see. But overall, they've done a really good job. They've kept this game under control, as you mentioned. They've also done a pretty good job of letting the two teams play, which makes it a very entertaining game as well. So, a lot of credit here, especially to the linesman that just took a stick to the face, and not going to blame him for stepping out of the face-off circle for the second draw, but he will get a little bit of a reprieve as he won't drop the puck the second time.
He's still getting a refresher. He's got to buckle his bucket there. Here we go. We're set to restart overtime.
This time it's North Carolina winning the draw. Nick Curley controls for the Tar Heels. As mentioned, 5 minutes of 4-on-4 hockey now, or 3-on-3. It'll be 4-on-4 in a minute when the two penalized players return. Turning with it, O'Shaughnessy has it knocked loose by Shook. NC State with a 2-on-1 if they hurry. Shook and Kaufman moving in quickly. Oh, and it was mishandled by Shook, but he gets it back, takes the shot, and a blocker save made by Hughes. NC State with the pressure here. They're going to back it out and look for another opportunity. Cox for Kaufman. Doesn't like what he sees, drops it back to Cade Cox again. 30 seconds left until the two players return. It'll be Glonick and McEnany. Question is, will they head to the bench or will they stay on the ice? Circling with it, Cox leaves it off for Philip Bailey. First fresh body out there for NC State. 15 seconds left till the two players return. Up top, now it's Cade Cox walking with it, turning now. Lifts it into the far side for Bailey. He'll be pinned to the wall. NC State holds it. Bailey down low. Loses control. And now Hughes. Ooh, a little miscommunication there. North Carolina able to clear it up and out. This one will go the length of the ice. And the first one there is McConaughey. And we will very briefly, it was briefly 4-on-4. Maybe not noticeably 4-on-4, but it was. And it'll be 3-on-3 again now that we have a stoppage of play. 3:38 to go in overtime. And now it looks like a timeout will be called here by North Carolina in overtime. And this is, I think this is really just to kind of your, not quite to the halfway point. You're going to give some of your better players, the guys you want to keep out there as much as possible, a little bit extra rest. Plus, you kind of get that reset after the two guys come out of the box.
And I think this is a really crucial and strategic timeout, especially if O'Shaughnessy comes out, which I think is why he did that, because of the way he's dominated the faceoff circle. And you saw with NC State, once they got possession, they never gave it up. And that's the big thing about overtime hockey. You got to be careful, because if you give up possession, you give the other team a chance, maybe a breakaway, maybe an odd-man rush. So you got to be definitely very careful with the puck, which is why we saw Cade Cox kind of linger back to neutral ice sometimes and read his options. You don't want to force anything in overtime hockey, because that's how you lose the game.
Well, and I think the other thing about that, we talked about resting the guys you want to keep out there. The guys who are out there right now, you also can't take off the ice because they were out there for an icing call. So
right.
you give those guys a rest. Now, the good news for North Carolina is they've got one of their best face-off guys in Henry Foster there to take the draw. NC State will put him up against Herman, who wins that face-off. NC State, the offensive end, shot loose in front. Bailey has it caught in his skates, and he can't get the shot away. And now North Carolina in control will break it up and out. Foster receives the cross-ice pass, and he brings it in down the left wing. Takes the shot off the body of Thronson, and Tar Heel loses an edge, and now NC State has numbers. Bailey and Herman in on a 2-on-1, and Philip Bailey's pass the middle denied. North Carolina will clear it down the ice, but the hopping puck is not going to have enough juice to get down for icing. Thronson for NC State. Up the far side, it hops the stick of Bailey. Foster trying to stall things out for UNC. He'll pester Govea fresh off the bench. Dropped for Bailey. Looking things over, protecting the puck from Henry Foster. And now NC State just elects to create some space and reset. Foster has space to get a change now. Replaced by Kozowski as Thronson steps around his man. Looking to the middle, finds Govea, who takes the shot. It's blocked in front by Gleason. 2:35 left in overtime. Still 4-4. Next goal wins, or we're headed to a shootout after this overtime period. Here's Robinson stepping in. He's already got a couple tonight. Wrapping around behind the net. No options there. He'll leave it for Govea. They'll cycle the puck. Now Labrizzi looking across. It'll be taken off the wall by Robinson. Turning away from pressure. Zach Robinson. Now to Govea. He'll step into the high slot. Takes the shot. Oh, it deflected wide. Just about got to the net, though. Now North Carolina can move forward. Kozowski with it. He'll take the shot. Knocked down, and Addison Lawrence had the strap pop loose on his helmet. He'll knock it off, and we'll get a quick stoppage for him to fix it. Great chances there for NC State.
Yeah, and I'm just going to note that Matt Grady saved the game for UNC. It was a 2-on-1 break, and he lays down, pops it up, and I think the most important thing, Chris, he didn't take a penalty off of that. No tripping call was there. That is a massive play by Matt Grady to get back out there. But like I mentioned before, if you lose possession in overtime, since it's 3-on-3, it's very hard to get it back, and you don't want to turn it over or force something if you have it on offense. Lawrence is bit of trouble trying to get his mask on, so we'll get an extended delay here. But this is a massive face-off coming up, and O'Shaughnessy is going to be taking it for UNC.
This will be an interesting draw. But you look at who's out there for this North Carolina team. They've got Curley, one of their best defensemen out there, with O'Shaughnessy and Gilligan, who are probably their two best forwards. For NC State, it'll be Nick Shook and Holden Kaufman, along with Cade Cox.
Play.
So it's taken a while here for Lawrence to get this fixed.
I'm not sure if he got it knocked off by another player or if it just kind of strapped.
I think it was the shot from Kozlowski kind of came up in his ear area, and if you kind of hit the mask the wrong way, it'll compress and pop that strap out. They've got it fixed now, and off the draw, O'Shaughnessy will control in the near corner, trying to force his way to the front, knocked down by Cox, and Lawrence is going to cover it up for another faceoff.
Oh, I think Cade Cox wanted Lawrence not to give that one up because O'Shaughnessy had got knocked down and trying to be a little cute, trying to get a highlight reel goal, get on SportsCenter Top 10 tonight, but gets knocked down and Lawrence just holds it, plays it safe.
Again, O'Shaughnessy controls the faceoff, has him in open in front. Big play made by Cade Cox to lay down and block the centering pass. He'll come away with the puck as well, has some speed and finds Kaufman on the near side. Holden Kaufman gains the zone, elevated to the middle, one-time shot just wide for Cox. NC State with a good chance. Kaufman behind the net battles for it. Nick Curley takes it away, and North Carolina will slow it down here briefly. 1:20 to go in overtime. Stepping through the middle, Gilligan trying to chase down the loose puck that he lost. Cox ties him up, moves forward for Shook. 2-on-1 for NC State if they can get there quickly. Shook gonna go 1-on-1 with Curley. Takes the shot, he scores! And Hughes couldn't see it. Nick Shook with the goal. 1:07 left in overtime, and NC State wins it 5-4.
The freshman gets it done in overtime. A rivalry win. One heck of a game. And how about that? Him and Drew Bressingham were going back and forth, and I was thinking of who to watch. But I want to go back to the other end. O'Shaughnessy was wide open, and UNC just could not give him the puck. Cade Cox makes a fantastic play of his own, and then you break out. Nick Shook was there, and you mentioned it, Chris. If they hurry, they have numbers, but with a sniper like a Nick Shook, it doesn't matter. Ice Pack win 5-4.
That is a huge, huge win for NC State. We talked about it pregame, the implications on this game and what it would mean, not just for the momentum of the season, but also for the standings in the ACCHL Premier Division. NC State moves to 3-1 in the ACCHL Premier League, and for North Carolina, they drop to 3-2 in league play. So with that as well, pardon me, not 3-2, they move to 3-1-1 with the overtime loss. So they do get a point out of it, but NC State with an important extra point.
Yeah, very important extra point to get that win. What a game we saw from these two teams, and from what we saw last year with all the rivalry, the Frozen Finley, the regionals matchup, I think this was the best game both teams played. Just fantastic hockey all around. Couldn't have asked for a better game. And a freshman ending it, a freshman who now has 8 goals on the year, 10 points. Nick Shook has broken out, and there's a reason why he's on this roster, and a reason why he has 8 goals now.
Well, NC State, big win here over North Carolina as they celebrate with their fans. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have player interviews, coaches interviews, and analysis of this overtime win. Final score in overtime, NC State 5, North Carolina 4.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. The lessons learned here don't end with graduation. A great university goes far beyond campus. It allows you to see the big picture. A great university gives you tools, community, partnership, a launch pad. You don't just go to NC State University. You take us with you. We talk forever about the future. Worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go, from ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make, with bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library,
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you. It was one heck of a hockey game here tonight. NC State overtime winners over the North Carolina Tar Heels. Final count 5-4. And Nick, when you look at this game, we were talking about it before we came back on the air here. There was everything you could ask for in a hockey game tonight.
Yeah, one of our producers brought that up. I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody that works for us. Our systems went down. We apologize for that, but the fact that we were able to get everything back up and working in 5 minutes, really big thank you to everyone that is a part of PackTV here and gets this broadcast going. And we're fortunate enough to show you a fantastic conclusion to a game. And you're right, this game did have everything. We had an overtime winner from a freshman who's just had an explosive season so far. The boys that are walking back up into the locker room right now, they are hyped, they are ecstatic. What a game we just saw. I'm still in awe of what we just saw, Chris.
Well, and you know this one meant a little bit extra for NC State. When you look back historically, there are only a few years where they really lost that battle to North Carolina over the course of a season. Last year was one of them. They only beat them twice. They lost a few times, including perhaps the most important one in regionals. That's a big one. So to redeem themselves there, to get a little bit of revenge, especially in heartbreaking fashion in overtime, is huge for this team. And I think it's something they're going to be able to carry in to the coming weeks with this momentum and this energy that they're going to draw from off of this game.
Oh, definitely for sure, Chris. And they've got another bit of a road trip going on next week as well, so we won't be with you next week. However, I mean, that's a game you build momentum off of, like you said. The fact that they were down in the third period, Thomas McEnany blasts one from the point to tie the game up at 4. You get it to overtime. You make a couple of great saves with Addison Lawrence in that. You get a couple of big defensive stops, and then you get the big goal to finish it off. I mean, NC State, towards the end of the game, the shots, UNC outshot them, but it was only by 1, and at one point, the shots were 20-10. They ended up being 30-19. What a finish by NC State. Shows their resilience, and I think this is their best win yet that they've seen.
Yeah, 30-29 on those shots, 19-10, though, the outshooting of North Carolina after that point. So as you mentioned, they did a great job. The other guy we have to look at, too, is Addison Lawrence. He made some big saves in overtime. He made some big saves late in regulation to keep it tied. So he's a big reason this team was able to come out with the win as well.
Yeah, he made a couple of great saves. I mean, really both goalies towards the end of the game were just standing on their heads for a good bit. But Lawrence, I think he showed the most resilience and the best response. He had a goal, couldn't see it, went by him. not the best goal to give up. You hate to do it, but he looked determined ever since he gave up that goal. Played one heck of a game. He showed why he got the start in net tonight, and I feel like he may have earned it going forward.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you're NC State, one of the things you hit on, one of the words I picked up on their resilience. NC State made some mistakes, took some bad penalties, put themselves in bad spots, even put themselves behind the 8 ball a couple of times. And really, honestly, I think one thing that head coach Tim Healy will say is he didn't like the way his team played after they took the lead. Fortunately for them in overtime, they didn't have to play after they took the lead, because certainly North Carolina would have been coming back full force, and the track record, they probably could have put one in the back of the net. So NC State, you're going to want to pick up there and kind of go back to that and look at that and say, hey, we got to keep our focus. We can't step back. And as the Hurricanes head coach Rod Brindamore says, you can't take a breath in the middle of a game. And you could see it for NC State both of those times they give up the goal. They kind of relax after they score. It's like, all right, we got the lead. Now we can take control and win this game. And North Carolina just wasn't going to go away without a fight. So to be that resilient, to come from behind a couple times, and to bounce back from giving up a lead that you only had for less than 30 seconds is huge as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, 33 seconds. That's all NC State led in this game, and they win it 5-4. And one of my favorite sayings, you let your foot off the gas, is what NC State did. You have to be all gas, no brakes. And I think that's going to be a big takeaway from this game. Yeah, you win at 5-4, you beat your rival in overtime, but there's still going to be those ironing out moments. You're still going to get that criticism from Coach. He's going to go in there, he's going to say, hey, we got to brush some things up. One heck of a win, you guys, but we still got to focus. We got to change some things up. And if we do that, we're going to have wins that, they're not in overtime, but we're going to get those wins by multiple goals where we don't even need overtime.
Now, NC State ends that 2-game losing streak. They extend the North Carolina losing streak to 4 with a 5-4 overtime win. We'll have the overtime game-winning goal scorer right after this.
Life is for learning, and that doesn't stop with graduation. A great university goes far beyond campus. It allows you to see the big picture. A great university gives you tools, community, partnership, a launch pad. You don't just go to NC State University. You take us with you. NC State. Think and do.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library,
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Back here in Invisalign Arena with the hero tonight, Nick Shook. He's got the hat on tonight. He's the player of the game. Nick, you talked to us before we went on, mentioning what was going through your mind going into that game-winning goal. Just walk us through what you were thinking.
I was super tired, and I just saw the puck jump out, and I was just trying to get off, so I just put it on net, and I was gonna go change, but it went in, luckily.
One of the things I always say during the broadcast is good things happen when you put the puck on net. That's twice tonight. The second goal you guys had was a good thing for it. But one of the things we mentioned during the broadcast in our last session, we mentioned how the resiliency from this team happened to get to overtime. You guys were down 4-3 in the third, and you guys were able to win it 5-4 in overtime. What was the resiliency see going on that bench, and how were you guys able to mount that comeback?
Yeah, you know, everybody wanted to get UNC, and that was really driving us. We couldn't lose on home soil. We just wanted to get them back. You know, last year that was pretty brutal, and this year we're trying to take the series back. So, I mean, the leaders on the team, they were getting us going. Coaches getting us going. The captains, everybody was going together.
Now, I know you're a freshman, but you've had a fantastic season to start out. You now have 8 goals on the year, which for a freshman is almost unheard of. You really glimmered on spot. So going forward, you guys have another big weekend upcoming next week. Carrying that momentum in the next week, how do you guys do that?
It starts in practice, you know, working hard, working as a team, getting closer every single day, and just taking every day, day by day, you know, one step closer to regionals.
All right, well, the hero tonight, Nick Shook, puts it in the back of the net with 1:07. It was the 5th goal tonight, so make sure you head to the Cameron District Moe's for a bit of a discount. We'll be back here in Invisalign Arena with Coach Tim Healy after this.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop. From the top of D.H. Hill Library, Don Diablo.
Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Chris Lehman back with a very happy head coach, Tim Healy of the NC State Ice Pack. 5-4 winners in overtime over North Carolina. A lot of tests throughout the course of that game, so you got to feel pretty good about coming out on top.
I mean, yeah, we got punched in the gut a lot of times, responded, rebounded well. You know, and it was just a great game, right? You have 2 rivals. I mean, I'm looking at the shots. They were within 1. Rivalry games are crazy. And it was electric. It was just great. I mean, I don't know if I'll say a topic much in this one. That was a fun one, but that was a win like that's been a long time coming.
Well, and when you look at the way you score a couple of goals in there too, Cade Cox throws one in on goal from center ice. Nick Shook mentioned in that post-game interview, he was really just looking to get it to the net and get off for a change, and it ends up in the back of the net. What kind of discussion was there about Joel Hughes, especially after he gives up that soft one?
There's really no discussion. I mean, Joel's really accomplished, and you know he's good. He's a good player. You know, I played goalie, so you're not going to get me to ever say anything bad about a goalie when that happens. I mean, I've had it happen. I've had worse ones happen. So these things happened, and you know his team did bail him out. I mean, they got the lead again, right? So you know, I'd much rather talk about how we responded when we went down in the third with Cade McConaughey and how we played the 3-on-3 overtime.
Well, and you talk about responding. That was one thing North Carolina did well when you guys took the lead. I believe over the course of the game, you only led for 33 seconds. They responded really quickly.
We got to work on that.
So what did you talk to the guys about when that second one in particular, that second quick response came?
Well, I think you really want to talk about growth over time as a team, and we're a young team. And, you know, the only time we've lost in this building this year was similar with Kentucky, right? Like responding and that. And our resilience with in-game resilience wasn't great. And I think tonight Our in-game resilience was much better. I think the bench stayed positive. And again, in these rivalry games, you just have to find a way.
Well, and one thing that I know you liked a lot, you've mentioned it a couple times before we jumped on here, got a lot of new guys on the ice too. All 3 new guys, in fact, on the ice for that game-winning goal. You always have to deal with turnover when it comes to college athletics, but how does it feel to have guys like that you can rely on?
Yeah, 2 of our 4 shifts in overtime had 3 freshmen out there. And, it is funny. There was actually a freshman mistake right before it, but we're going to let that go. But, the skill and the speed to be able to – we talk about this. It normally takes 3 mistakes that lead to a goal. In 3-on-3 overtime, it's actually less. So it's how you respond to that mistake and create layers. And I tell this to my kids that compete and effort can overcome a lot. And when you look at the compete of Nick Shook, Aiden Brenner, Cox, Kaufman, McConaughey's new. He's not a freshman, but you look at that freshman class up and down the line. Scott Daniels compete level. All those freshmen have such a high compete level, so that makes a big difference.
Well, it's a big one to get, kind of a pivotal win to some extent here early in the season. So what do you take away, the positives that you want this team to take away moving on to the next weekend?
That, there were times of this game we probably weren't at our best, but we never let the game get away from us. So at one point the shots were 20-10, and it was, but we didn't let the scoreboard get away to us. We managed it till we kind of found our game in the third, and I thought we played a marvelous third.
One last question for you, Coach. Head coach Tim Healy of the Ice Pack with us after a 5-4 overtime win over North Carolina. How much does a game like this make you look forward to November 20th at PNC?
Look, to me, that PNC game is just as much about the hockey community. To me, I just want to sit in this one right now, so I have to get up at 5 a.m. and drive to the Eastern Shore of Maryland for my daughter's youth hockey game. So let me enjoy this as long as I can. But, in all honesty, that game is really it's the biggest college hockey game in the Southeast, and it's really become a rivalry when we look at the big stages that is comparable to anything you see in conferences like Hockey East and stuff like that in terms of the fan interest and what they come in. And actually ticket sales are already pretty good for it. We showed, all right, Wolfpack Nation, let's be on the level for a second. We haven't broken the 6,000 mark. At Carter Finley last year, we know there's a higher ceiling than that. So let's fill that lower bowl, get it loud, make it so it doesn't look like much blue in there. Not that there normally is, but let's really roll it out.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time. We'll let you get going here so you can get at least a little bit of sleep.
All right, thanks. Thank you, guys. Thanks, PackTV. Great night.
With 5 goals, NC State has earned you some free queso at the Village District Moe's tomorrow. Head on over, say queso goal, get some free queso after NC State scores 5 goals. That's all for our coverage here tonight. NC State, thrilling win, 5-4 in overtime over North Carolina.
Go Pack.
That might be the next one.
I want to get the ball.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was pretty good.